ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, get your cocktails ready. We're going to start the show in just a minute. Ready to go. Ice is in the glass. Countdown has begun. Let's get it going.
A little ordinary? Is it lacking something awesome? Well, head out to your local liquor store and pick up something extraordinary. Grab a bottle of Old Humble Straight Whiskey or Old Humble Special Reserve. They're clean, smooth, easy drinking whiskeys that taste the way whiskey should taste. From humble beginnings to an extraordinary finish, Old Humble whiskeys are what your bar needs today. Walk tall, be awesome, and drink humble. Old Humble Straight Whiskey and Old Humble Special Reserve. Get yours today.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, get yours today. And you can get yours today in 34 states across the country, including Louisiana, Arkansas, and Missouri, New York, California, Washington State. Get on in there. Get some. I am the Old Humble Guy. Today is Wednesday, August 22nd, I think. What day is today? The 22nd? 23rd. August 23rd. Wednesday, August 23rd. Today we will be talking about giants and whether or not they existed, and what giants actually exist, what giants didn't exist. But we're not going to talk about that just yet. I'm going to give people a chance to get in because this has been a topic of conversation in my shorts feed, a topic of conversation in my shorts for close to a week. I like stirring up trouble, and I didn't think it would be that much trouble stirring up. I mean, giants didn't exist, but apparently people like to be lied to. People like to have their fantasy creatures. People like to have their fantasy worlds, and that's just fine. Just realize that, it's fantasy world. I need to adjust. There we go. That's a proper. You'll notice I'm not in my flannel today. I'm not in my plaid shirt because it is hot outside, and I was working all day, and I didn't want to change my shirt. This is a comfortable shirt. I like my linen shirt. It feels good. It's comfortable. And the heat in Texas. It's hard to describe the heat in Texas, the persistence of the heat, the persistence of the mugginess, the persistence of the humidity. But I had an analogy today. If you listen to Rush E, and if you listen to one of the mixes of Rush E where it progressively speeds up, just a little bit each time. Each time that they hit a certain note or whatever, and it progressively speeds up and gets faster and faster and faster and faster. The relentlessness of that song. Dun 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 dun. That's the heat in Texas. It's just relentless. I mean, right now it is what is it? 9 o'clock? 10 o'clock. It is 10 o'clock right now. Right now at 10 p.m. in Houston, Humble, Texas. It is sitting at 90 degrees. 90 degrees. And with the humidity, it feels like 95. It is just relentlessly hot. And that's why our distillery is not open right now to the public, because it's just so damn hot. And I know I'm complaining about the heat, complaining. It's not bad in the morning. It feels actually quite nice in the morning. It's just that accumulation of heat over the course of the day is just, god dang, relentless. Cheers to all you fine folks out there. As I said, I am the Old Humble Guy. This is the Old Humble Distilling Company's channel. We make fine whiskey. Oh, my light's not on. We make fine whiskey. The finest in all the land. Our Boomtown Bourbon is what I'm drinking tonight. It is our flagship bourbon. What is that? Oh, what's my name? It is our flagship bourbon. I am building these nice gift boxes. This one has our rye in it. It's a magnetic box cover there. I'm building these, but that's not what I'm giving away. What we're giving away with our whiskey giveaway this month, our whiskey giveaway, is a sample pack of our whiskeys. And you get into chat. We've got Steve Nepper, who was in chat earlier, around 2 this afternoon, and Vanessa Kitty. Hi, Vanessa Kitty. You have both been entered into chat, entered into our drawing, but you can also be entered into a drawing by doing a $5 super chat. Because we have super chats now. Because we were monetized. We were monetized. So that is, but getting into chat one time will get you, just getting into chat anytime during the show. Vanessa Kitty will get you into Steve Nepper into the drawing. You can only get into one drawing by chatting, or one entry by chatting per show, but you can get as many super chats as you want. So if you want to pad your chances, $5 per shot. Come on in. I might drop that down to $1. Let's call it $1 super chat. $1. $1. You get another entry, then another entry, then another entry. I'm gonna change that down to $1. $1. That's it. Or you can share the stream. Share the stream and tag me when you share it so that I know it got shared. And then I'll add you to the Wheel of Doom and Glory. We'll spin the Wheel of Doom and Glory at the end of September, the beginning of October. So we'll spin the wheel, and somebody's going to get a sample pack of our whiskeys. Our Straight Whiskey, Special Reserve, Double Oak Rye, and Boomtown Bourbon. You get 4 little sample bottles, all for you to enjoy. Cheers. Ah, that is a delightful bourbon. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So the world tour has been kicked off. We are on the tonight was the third leg of the world tour. And the third leg of the world tour brought us to the Woodlands, which means as of right now, let me look at my distance runner. I am marking Bourbon School's in the chat. Cheers, Bourbon School. And congratulations on your 1,000 subscribers. Bourbon School in chat. There we go. Bourbon School. And congratulations on your 1,000 subscribers. Very proud of you. That is a huge milestone. It is an awesome achievement. Congratulations. Big deal. It really is a big deal. But yeah, we're in the midst of our world tour. Where's my graphic on the world tour? Cambot. Bring that graphic up, please. My Cambot is right here. There we go. Cambot. There we go. World tour. We're on the third stage of our world tour, which today was the Woodlands. Tomorrow is Willowbrook. All Total Wine stores. Tomorrow we'll be going to Willowbrook Total Wine. Um, so as of the end of the day tomorrow, as of today, as of the end of the day today, I'm recording the round trips to each one of these stores from the distillery. As of the end of the day today, it was 220 miles. The end of the day tomorrow, it will be 271 miles that we will have gone on the world tour for Old Humble Distilling Company. Next week, Saturday, actually this weekend, Saturday, will bring us to Fort Worth. So the number of miles is going to spike up dramatically as of the end of this weekend. Use Boomtown in your Gold Rush cocktail video today. Awesome! I'm gonna have to go check out that video, man. That is cool. Thank you very much, and also congratulations um, on 1,000 subscribers. And Dustin is in the house. Cheers, Dustin. So where are we at on time? We there? We're about 4 minutes away from getting into the talk, the monologue. Um, Top Shelf Dustin is entered into chat and entered onto the Wheel of Doom and Glory. Awesome. Who else we got? Oh, there's Giants of Real. Matt Burke has joined us. Fantastic. The first commenter on the talk. We haven't started the talk yet, but I guess I should go ahead and kick it off, shall we? So the question that has been that I intentionally raised over the course of the last, I guess it was starting last weekend, going forward to today. I don't even know why this is a thing. But the one of the hot topics on YouTube and Twitter, not Twitter, YouTube and TikTok is there proof of giants, proof of cryptids, proof of all this proof of all kinds of silly nonsense. And what we're going to do, I'm going to talk about on this topic for about 15 minutes, and then I'm going to bring up chat, and I'm literally going to go back to the last comment that I got to, which will be Matt Burke. You are the first comment that I will address when I'm done chatting. Oops. When I'm done chatting. Matt Burke, who is also entered into our free whiskey giveaway. Congratulations, Matt. Thanks for joining us. Matt Burke. And then I'm gonna go all the way through the list. So fill up the chat. The more chat there is, the longer we stay on. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves. Heckle me as much as you want. I will get to it. I will read every single comment, every single one of them. Absolutely 100%. So I don't know why this is a topic that keeps coming up. It keeps coming up. I keep seeing it coming up. Proof of alien technology, proof of cryptids, proof of aliens in general, proof of all kinds of, and I'm just gonna come out and say it, nonsense. We don't have any proof of giants because giants didn't exist. The only giants that did exist, or do exist, or have existed, the best ones out there, the baseball giants. We also have football giants. I don't think we have basketball giants. We have baseball giants. We have football giants. That's it. Those are the only giants that existed, that do exist. Other giants have existed. I'm sure there's been hockey giants. But look, here's the thing. Mythical giants are not just merely tall people. We've had tall people among us ever since we've had people among us. That's not what a giant is. If you're a 4 foot tall little person, like my lovely wife, she's just a shade over 5'2". I think she's 5'2.5", and she's very proud of her half. A 6 foot tall person like me, almost 6 feet, I'm 5'11". I tower above her. I'm a full head above her. I can rest my head on her head. My brother-in-law is 6'7". He's a full head above me. He can rest his chin on my head. Yao Ming, 7 feet tall. Akeem Olajuwon, 6'10". Andre the Giant, the wrestler, he was a big dude. And we've had people, normal people, like just human beings, grow as high as 8 feet tall. I think the tallest person is like 9 feet, 12 feet, whatever. If you're short, if you see, I mean, geez, Americans in the 1600s were considered giants because we were taller than the Europeans that were still back in Europe. The better diet and the fresher air and the cleaner water that we had here in the Americas allowed us to grow taller and be healthier than the people who were left behind in London. So being tall is not the criteria for being a giant. A giant is a mythical creature. a separate species of man, a separate species of hominid that was biologically separate from human beings. 20 feet tall in some cases. The legends vary. There's no specific like information of what they are because they're all fairy tales, they're all stories, they're not real. We do have biblical stories. In fact, my Bible right here, lest y'all say I'm just some ungodly heathen. I'm actually an elder in my church. Uh, so that's not even a fair attack against me. Uh, I'm well versed in what's inside of those pages. Well, very well versed. But we have stories of giants from the Old Testament, angels that mated with, or fallen angels that mated with the daughters of men, only the daughters of men, those dirty whores, not actual men. Men didn't have sex with female angels, of course not, only the dirty whores. And they made demon babies that were giant Nephilim, I think they were called. Those that's not evidence. That's not proof. Proof would be bones, campsites, settlements. We have settlements of the earliest people. In fact, we have settlements of pygmy humans. They're called the hobbits. Pygmy, they're not humans. Pygmy hominids, distant relatives of humans from out in Indonesia. Everything was shrunk down. We have absolutely no evidence, absolutely nothing in the archaeological record, absolutely nothing in the anthropological record, absolutely nothing in the biological record of human beings, of the history of the world, of a single bone, of a single footprint, of a single hair sample, of anything. This is why we also know that Bigfoot is a myth. Bigfoot doesn't exist because there's no campfires, there's no scat, there's no fur, there's no footprints, there's nothing, absolutely nothing that suggests yet. The number of people that are out in the wilderness, we see nothing. Absolutely nothing. And evident, when I talk about evidence, I mean something that's verifiable. Not just a story, not just an I saw, not just I heard from a friend, not just there are reports of, no, 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 no. None of that. I want to see actual verifiable evidence. Something that you can share with somebody else that they can inspect. That's what evidence is. Evidence is something that's verifiable, reproducible, 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 and when you study it, you get the same. When somebody else independent of you studies it, they get the same conclusion. Now, what bones we do have were mammoth bones, elephant skulls. Elephant skulls are surprisingly, oddly, weirdly, they look like giant human heads. I don't know why. I guess that's what they thought cyclops skulls were. Elephant skulls were cyclops skulls. That's what it is I'm thinking of because they had like the hole in the middle of the face and that's obviously a cyclops. No, it's not. It's an elephant. But just because they're ignorant doesn't mean they're bad people. They were just ignorant. We know better today. If you're ignorant today, that can be fixed. I mean, you see a claim, an extraordinary claim, like, oh, we found giant bones or bones of giants in Lockland Cave in Nevada. Oh, you did? Tell me more. Show me the bones. Let's look at the bones. Oh, those are mammoth bones. Mammoth bones from the dig site down the road, and you can prove that by looking at the marrow of the bone, or actually looking at the rest of the bones and putting together. Oh, that's a femur of a dadgum elephant. That's not a person. And oh, by the way, the people that set up that tourist attraction, they were trying to convince you that they're giants. They're just trying to separate gullible dum-dums from their money. If you're a gullible dum-dum and you're willing to give them their money, they're willing to tell you whatever story you want to hear. And let me go one more level and tell you why stories aren't verifiable evidence. Because stories can be embellished and made up. When the Israelites first came into the Promised Land, when they were supposed to cross over the river into the Promised Land, and they came back to tell Joshua, "Oh no, 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 we can't go in there. There's giants in that land. They eat grapes that are the size of our heads. They're giants." They very well may have been tall people. They very well may have been big, strong, healthy people. They very well may have been bigger than the Israelites who had just been wandering in the desert for 40 years. or 20 years, I think, at that point. But what they weren't is a different race, a different species of hominid, because there's absolutely nothing in the archaeological record supporting anything that the spies that went into Israel said was there. What's more likely, and what the actual theologians who study this will say, is that the spies were lying because they were afraid and they didn't want to go in. So they came back and said, no, I don't think we can beat these guys because we're too weak. They're giants. They made up a story. But that's neither here nor there. The story that I want to tell you about is the time that I fought off an entire horde of wasps. When I was manning the fireworks stand over July 4th, I spent the first night. I wake up, I do the inventory stuff that I need to do. I start getting everything stacked up, and I see a wasp up the upper right-hand corner of the fireworks stand. And this wasp had been with me overnight. This wasp had been in the stand overnight because it was inside of the sleeping quarters of the stand that I was manning. So I get everything, I move everything away, I grab the broom, and it's time to go to war. I poke the damn thing, get it down, and crush it. And you know what happens next? Another one spawned in its place. But this one wasn't the size of a regular wasp. This one was about that big. It was about the size of a football. This was a big damn wasp. And okay, game on. It is time to fight. Y'all are spawning in from your portal connected to hell. Great, let's go. I fought him off. He came at me, and I whacked him down with the broom, whacked him again, hit him, stomped him down. But he emitted some kind of signal, and he activated the portal, and then what opens up out of the portal? 10 more wasps. 10 more wasps coming at me. 10 more. 5 from the right, 5 from the left. They're coming at me. And as I'm fighting off the ones on the right, the ones on the left getting close. And I spin back around with the broom, swat them down. Whack. They're all about the size of a football. And as I'm occupied with these over here, these come back at me. I hit those guys. And then 5 more spawned in. The cavalry coming in. As I'm distracted on the right, and I'm distracted on the left. The cavalry, I got the vanguard, whatever you want to call it. They're coming at me from the front. And I fought them all off. I fought them off. It was dangerous. It was scary. They got close to getting me. But you know what happened? Ultimately, I won because man is better than insect. And even if they are football-sized wasps, even if they are spawning in directly from hell itself, I got the nest on the ground, I crushed the nest, which was what connected it to their portal to hell, directly to Satan's jawbone. But more importantly, I knocked them all down, killed them, crushed them, squashed them, ruined them, destroyed them all. Had to jump out of the stand because it was too tight in there. I couldn't swing the broom properly, but I got down on the ground. Boom, corpses littered around. Little wasp corpses the size of footballs just littered around. I thought about cleaning them up, but then I said, no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave them out as a warning to the other wasps, as a warning to them so that they don't come at me. You don't believe any of that story, do you? Because most of it sounds pretty outrageous. Giant wasps the size of a football? You ain't never seen anything like that. You would want to see a picture, right? Because what person in their right mind would fight off 15 football-sized wasps and not take a single picture? I would have some evidence for that claim, right? Stories can be made up. Stories can be embellished. Stories can have a kernel of truth, but yet be full of complete and total nonsense. Stories are not evidence. Evidence is something more verifiable than just a mere story. And I tell you, I could have taken a picture. I could have taken a picture, but I didn't because there was no such thing as a 3-foot wasp. God, a 3-foot wasp would suck. Wasps are already evil. There's already no point in having a wasp around. Wasps are just the worst goddamn things on the planet. They're the worst. They're literally connected to hell. It says so in Deuteronomy. You should look it up. But y'all ain't read Deuteronomy, so it doesn't matter. But that's my point. There's no verifier. There's not a jawbone. There's not a femur. There's not a leg. There's not a arm. There's not a rib. There's not a head. There's nothing. Absolutely nothing. There's not a fire pit. There's not a campsite. There's not food, charred food. There's no charred remains. Nothing. We've got remains of hominids from the earliest walking humans, 250,000 years ago. 2.5 million years ago, the first upright humans that left the jungles and walked across the savannas. The oldest existing human remains, I believe, are 3 million years ago. You know how many of them are giants? You know how many humanoid remains we have that are giants? None. They're all normal sized, within the range of normal, between 4 feet and 8 feet of normal human beings. Most of them are around 4 feet tall. Most of what we have are around 4 feet tall, 5 feet tall. The progression of size of human beings has gone from about 4 feet up to about where we're at right now is about 5'9", I think, is 5'6" to 5'9", I think, is the average height of a human being worldwide. And within that range, you have abnormalities. You have people who are as short as 3 feet tall and as tall as 10 feet tall. But that doesn't make them giants. That doesn't make them giants any more than it makes the little people, elves or hobbits or whatever you want to call them. They're not a different species of human. They're still human. They're just tall humans. They're normal people. But giants didn't exist. Unless you talk about the baseball giants. Baseball giants existed. Football giants existed. They all exist. Anyway, like and subscribe. That's my 15 minutes. I think that's 15 minutes. Are we done? We're done. I'm going to call that 15 minutes. I think I did good. I'm calling it a night. We get on to chat. I think chat has been lively. I've seen everything scrolling. Um, Chat's been lively, and that's good. I like to have a lively chat because I like to be able to go back and address. Y'all give me stuff to talk about when I go through this stuff. But the exception isn't the norm. Just because we have unless there was a football or a basketball team 25,000 years ago, there was not a group of tall people that just congregated. I mean that's not tall people in the time of hunter gatherers would have been a drain on resources. They didn't want fat people, they didn't want super tall people, they wanted normal sized people in the tribe. And if you were, some super tall gangly goober, they're not gonna like want you going out on your hunting trips because you got to hide behind a bush. Where are you gonna hide? You're hunting down a bunch of buffalo, and you're the one there with your gangly old knees sticking out from outside the bush. You're a whole head above the bush, and like the buffalo are looking around like there's a person. We should probably not go to that guy. That guy had to stay home because he was a waste of flesh. He was a waste of time. He ruined the whole damn hunt. And the Kandahar giant, that's another one that's commonly brought up. Let's hear. We've had in the last week we've had the Nephilim, Lockhart cavern, and the Kandahar giant. The Kandahar giant was a hoax. It was a straight up hoax. It was a BS story that can be connected back to a fiction writer with just a simple cursory Google search. It's real easy. You type in Kandahar giant real question mark, and boom, it comes up like there's 3 articles right there, and one of them's the Military Times. Military Times is all like, yeah, this has been debunked, it's connected to this blogger, it's no big deal. This didn't happen. The Navy SEALs in question do not exist. It didn't happen. The people they claim were there weren't there. The Rangers weren't there. The SEALs weren't there. The Army division that got captured and eaten and pulled into pieces wasn't there. It took 30 solid minutes of shooting from. No, there's no such thing as a biological entity that could sustain 30 minutes of gunfire from American weapons. They don't exist. It doesn't even sound plausible. I mean, gee, like you could stop a tank with that stuff. I mean, if it was a Jeep, it would be just shredded to ribbons. Don't give me that crap, Kandahar Giant. That's nonsense. It's all nonsense. Now, do we have a desire for fantasy creatures and fantasy beasts and do we stitch together narratives of things that we don't know about? Yeah, we do all the time. But by this point, we shouldn't like the wonders and marvels of the natural world are already wondrous and marvelous enough. I mean, the Devil's Tower in Wyoming, it doesn't have to have been a big petrified tree for it to be a wondrous, marvelous thing. And by the way, it's not a petrified tree. You can literally walk up to it and touch it and see what it is. You can feel it. You can touch it. You can take a chunk off of it, put it in your mouth. It exists. It's a thing. It's not like it's some drawing that all we have is a picture to look at. It's an actual thing. People have been to it. People climb it. People have been to the top of it. It's not a mystery. We know what it is, right? So there wasn't this ancient race of human beings, and that's a tree from the garden or whatever. No, it's just a lava spout or whatever the hell that thing was, a basaltic oblast or whatever. What things really are is wondrous and amazing already. We don't have to make up bullshit stories. We don't have to make up nonsense. We don't have to look around at the wondrous nature around us and go, "Oh, well that's magic." It's not magic. It's a part of the world we live on. It's a part of the ecosystem that we're connected to, that we're a part of. If that's some magical thing that's separate from who we are and what we are and the world we walk on, then it's less magical than the world that we actually live in. If you create some fantasy world that creates the trees and creates big giant megalithic trees that petrified and turned into stalks in the middle of Wyoming, if you create these BS nonsensical narratives, then that separates us from the actual world that we live in. This fantasy world that we're not a part of is out there doing this thing, but we're a part of the world that created that. We're a part of the world that created the people that created Stonehenge. We're a part of the world that created the people that created Göbekli Tepe. We're part of the world that created the people that built the pyramids. We're a part of the world that created the people that did all of that. And their ability to do that is in us too. We have that same ability. And that's what is amazing about who we are and what we are. But it's also what's so annoying about people who are just like, oh yeah, there must have been giants, ancient race of people, ancient civilizations. No, they weren't some foreign spacefaring people that came to Earth and built a garden and then left. It was us. We did that. We're the marvelous, amazing, wonderful people, the marvelous, amazing, wonderful creations that walk the face of this earth today that did that stuff. That garden out there was tended by us. And that's amazing. We're a part of it. We're a part. Don't discount that by making up some bullshit story about giants, ancient race of giants. And they disappeared, but they did all these wonderful things. No, they didn't. They didn't exist. They didn't make giant stairwells on the side of mountains. Those are terraced farms that we made. We did it with sticks and chisels and stones. And if we can do it with sticks and chisels and stones, imagine what we could do with all the cool shit that we got right now. I mean, how dope is that, right? That's us. We're dope as hell. So go be dope as hell. Don't make excuses that giants used to do that and we're not giants. No, 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 no. We stand on the shoulders of giants. We are the giants. And we stand on the shoulders of giants that came before us, and we can see farther than they ever could because of the work they did. So go forth and be awesome, people, because awesome people came before you and gave you the ability to be awesomer. So do that thing and drink your whiskey however you want to drink it. Cheers. Let's go back to chat. I'm gonna call that the end, and we're gonna go to chat, and we're gonna open up the chat window now. Ta-ta! Bam, bam, bam. And a reminder, get into chat, you get under the Wheel of Doom and Glory. The Wheel of Doom and Glory will be spun at the beginning of September, the end of September, the beginning of October. Someone is going to win a sample pack of our whiskey. A sample of our straight whiskey, special reserve, double oak rye, and Boomtown bourbon. 4 bottles in a box, boxed up, shipped out to your door. From me, the old humble guy, who implores you to be awesome, continue to be awesome, because that awesome garden out there was tended by us. All right, so where were we? Last person I saw. Giants are real. No, you're wrong, Matt. But I appreciate that. Um, Yao Ming is human. He's Chinese. He's human. Come on. That's not right. Um, that's not fair. And also, Yao Ming's feet didn't work. His feet were made of clay apparently, and he was a great basketball player. But yeah, anyway, that was Yao. Yao was great. All right, onward to chat. What happened? What happened to chat? What happened to my chat page? Okay, there we go. It refreshed. All right, up, 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 up. There's Matt. Okay, Matt Berg. Giants are real. No, they're not. Giants are really real. No, they're not. Uh, you saw a giant in New York City. No, you didn't. You saw a tall person at best, but not a giant. But I do appreciate the input. Thank you. Thank you for popping in. Bourbon School. It'll be out Tuesday. Oh, your video will be out Tuesday. I will. Well, I've got your notifications on, so when it comes out, I'll watch it. We'll tag you guys. I appreciate that. Thank you. Mention us in a video, and you get on the Wheel of Doom and Glory. So you'll have at least 2 entries on the Wheel of Doom and Glory. What's the giveaway for? I was kidding about Giants. By the way, I'm not an idiot. Thanks for the clarification, Matt. I appreciate that too. So periodically we give away whiskey. I'm a whiskey maker. I own a distillery. I'm a whiskey maker. We make Old Humble Distilling. I own the Old Humble Distilling Company. I am their chief spokesperson and whiskey distiller. We make whiskey. This is one of them. Our Boomtown Bourbon, our straight whiskey, our Double Oak Rye, and our Special Reserve. I will be giving away. As of right now, the plan is to give away a sample pack of our whiskey. One each of our straight whiskey, Special Reserve, Double Oak Rye, and Boomtown Bourbon in the mini bottles. One each of those in the mini bottles, so you can have a nice sampling of all 4 of our bourbons or all 4 of our whiskeys. That's the plan as of right now, and I'm thinking that's what it's going to be. I might throw in a shot glass with the bottles, and maybe a cigar, because I do have a partnership with a cigar company, a couple of cigar companies. And I've got some pretty nice cigars. I've got the Herfador here. I've got Divine Leaf. And I've got the special house blend of the Smoking Room here in Humble. So, we've got some stuff. What the hell is this? Oh. We've got some stuff that I'm working on. We'll send some stuff out. So there you go. That's the giveaway. And the way you get in on the giveaway is you get in chat just like you've done. We do this once a week, every week on Wednesday nights. Come on in, pop in, say hi, Old Humble Guy, and then you can leave. You're in. You're in. You get into my list of people who are on the Wheel of Doom and Glory as of right now. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is only the second week. Only the second week of the giveaway of collecting the names for the wheel. By the end of it, I'm sure we'll have a couple hundred names. It's fine. We'll spin the wheel. And whatever name it lands on is the person who will get the box of goodies. So there you go. That's how we're doing it. So it's going to go all through August and all through September. So there's 8 weeks. And you get in on chat. You share the stream. That's the second way to get in on it. So each one of those is 1 per stream. And then the third way is with a super chat. Every time you do a super chat, for every super chat you contribute, you get your name on the Wheel of Doom and Glory. For every $5 super chat. So for $25, you get your name on it 5 times. For $5, you get on it 1 time. For $1, you get on it 0 times. But thank you. Thank you for the $1. But $5 gets you on the wheel. So there you go. That's how it is. And we also have a bet with Dustin after, I guess, 2 weeks ago when we talked about Trump's lasting legacy, and I read the 48-page indictment from the federal grand jury regarding the January 6th attempted coup. He said that Donald Trump is going to be the candidate for the Republican Party. I said there's no way he gets on that ballot, and we agreed to make a bet. He's offered up a bottle of Kentucky craft whiskey, and I have offered up a bottle of my Boomtown bourbon, which I am certain that I will not have to send to him. I am very certain that I will get a bottle of Kentucky bourbon or Kentucky whiskey. I believe it was rye. I am certain of that I will be getting that bottle from him because I do not think Donald Trump will be on the ballot. And if he is on the ballot, it's going to be a complete and total wipeout for the Republicans because he cannot possibly run for president, or he cannot possibly be the nominee and run for president from jail. He can't do a campaign from jail. It's going to be tough. You can't. I mean, how do they do the debate? They turn on the camera in Leavenworth. I assume he'll be in Leavenworth. Did they turn on the camera in Leavenworth and he sits there in his orange jumpsuit from the conference room at Leavenworth prison? How would he even do the debate? Would it just be Joe Biden having press conferences? I mean, it would basically be Joe Biden running unopposed. Would the Republicans allow that? I mean, come on. No way in hell. Anyway, I'm looking forward to getting that bottle, Dustin. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome. I've also got a series coming where I've got I'm going to start the build out of the tasting room live from the distillery when it's not oppressively hot. So that should be in about a week, 2 weeks in the mornings. I'll be doing it in the mornings, and then I'll go home, clean up, and then hit the road trip for the tastings, the road show. So there you go. Yeah, I know Yao Ming was taller than 7 feet tall. He was a ton of fun to watch. He was an absolute freak. I mean, he was one of the least athletic big men that I've ever seen. He just stood there in the paint and just waved his hands around because his feet didn't work. His feet were like this big, and they just didn't work. Once one of them broke, they were just done for. Yeah. The 96, 98 Chicago Bull, Dennis Rodman was not human. We have proof he's real. We have proof he isn't human. Dennis Rodman was an absolute beast. He was one of the greatest defensive players. And the fact that he was so good on defense is the only reason he continued to be in the league because he was terrible at offense. Absolutely terrible at offense. But he was great defense. I mean, that dude would pull down what, 25, 30 rebounds a game? That dude would pull down as many rebounds as marquee players pull down in points. That dude was a freak. But he was great in context. You put him in context with the right team, he was great. He would flourish. But you put him on another team, like I don't think he would have been that great in Utah. Utah was a balanced team. I mean, Rodman like MJ was just phenomenal on all sides, both sides of the ball, all aspects of basketball. MJ was fantastic. But Rodman allowed the Bulls to get a shooting specialist that didn't play defense. And then Rodman would play defense. And those two players together would be one superb player. You wrap them up into one delicious ball. Anyway, for whatever it's worth, most likely legit argument for Giants would be, would be Gigantopithecus, which was an ape, I believe about 12 feet tall on that. Oh yeah, I mean, but that was an ape. That wasn't a giant. That wasn't a hominid. That's not even a homo. That's a primate. And there were giant animals. There are giant animals. Whales are giants. Elephants are giants. They had ichthyosaurs and brontosaurs and ultrasaurs and all these asaurs that were just giant creatures that would roam the earth. The sequoias and redwoods and huge conifers that could reach into the skies and be taller than anything we've ever seen. Huge organisms that were just giant organisms. Bugs, giant centipedes, giant millipedes, giant ants, giant things with exoskeletons would grow to be 3, 4, 5 feet tall or big, not tall, huge creatures with giant exoskeletons. But there would also come to a point where those exoskeletons would be too heavy and they just couldn't move. So the evolution reached its peak back in, what was it, the Cretaceous era, when all the animals were weird. I got to remember my PBS epochs videos, but back in the Cretaceous area where it was just like heavily oxygenated atmosphere, and animals were just huge. But huge animals is not giants. And there's a difference there because mammals, there was not a tremendous number of mammals roaming around, and there certainly weren't primates, humanoid primates roaming around 30, 40, 50 million years ago, which is also one of the reasons why, one of the arguments I have against aliens visiting Earth. But, we'll get into that on another day. Oh, you know what? Screw it. We'll get into it right now. That's how we know aliens haven't visited Earth. Because when you think about aliens looking at Earth, they're looking at Earth 250,000 years in the past. 250,000 years in the past, there's no people. There's no reason for them to come to this Earth. There's no reason for them to look at Earth and go, oh, yeah, they can communicate with us. Let's send a thing with people in it, with their people in it. They're looking at Earth going, oh, that looks like an interesting little outpost. Let's send robot probes like we do to Mars and Jupiter and Io and Saturn and Venus and Mercury and Pluto and Neptune and Uranus. And that's what we've done throughout our own solar system. We've sent robots. You think if we saw a planet that might be habitable, that we saw a star that might have a planet around it, that we'd be all like, yeah, let's send people. No, we send a robot. We're going to send robot probes 500 light years away from us. On a mission of 100 years, we're sending robots. We are sending robots out there. We're not sending people. And if you think the first thing to land on this planet was an alien life form, you're not paying any damn attention to how we do things. Why would you think that they would do things differently than the way we would do things? The way we do things is we see a thing, we're like, oh, that's cool, send a robot. Even when we sent people to the moon, we sent robots to the moon first. We sent unmanned probes to land on the moon and kind of scope things out. Had a satellite circle over the moon a few times to find out where things were. We didn't send people first. We sent probes. You think aliens are going to look at a whole nother solar system and go, oh yeah, let's take some valuable resources, human being or alien beings, us beings, whatever. I mean, they're not aliens to them. They're like, let's send some Gleek glorp things, put them in a ship and send them to that little blue planet there and that star that's on the other side of the galaxy. Sure, well, that makes sense. No, that's not why. That's the best argument against aliens visiting Earth. Like that would be the dumbest way to go about exploring Earth. And that's how we know. You look at the fossil record. We know what roamed the Earth 25 million years ago. We know what roamed the Earth 250,000 years ago. We know the first hominid creatures like us emerged about 2.5 million years ago. And they weren't interesting. They were prey. They got eaten by stuff all the time. We know that we have a pretty good idea. We don't know all the details, but we have a pretty good idea of the fossil record, of the DNA record, of the history of humankind and mankind and hominid kind. We have a pretty good record of it. Now, does that mean that there's creatures out there that existed and disappeared, that completely independent of the human line? Sure. I'm not saying that it's impossible. I'm saying it's so highly unlikely that in our lifetime it will ever be demonstrated that a creature of animal that we would consider to be a different species that we would call giants existed. And they certainly weren't organized like humans, because if they were organized like humans, they'd still be around. There'd be some record of humans interacting with them. We have records from the earliest times of being able to record stuff of humans interacting with antelope and deer and bison and buffaloes and mammoths. You don't think that if people ran into giant humans that they'd paint that shit on a wall? Absolutely. I would. Like I saw a big like that's why I was late coming home, honey. I had to fight a big dude. Like painted on the wall. No, it wasn't like that. Roar, 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 she bear. Ugh. Gigantopithecus. That sounds like something you made up, to be quite honest. But yeah, I mean, I'll go for it. But also, no, Bigfoot's a myth. So I won't go for that. Where were we? Yeah, I feel like we are approaching a world of technical difficulties in this stream. I feel like I'm going to have to reset chat entirely. The 3 sample bottles can. Steve Erpenbeck, what's up, my man? Steve is in the chat. Add you to the list. Steve. I've got a confession to make. Something that y'all may not know about me. You know, y'all heard me rant about blue ink a lot. Something that a little quirk of my personality that I've known about but haven't vocalized. I don't like changing pens in a notebook. For example, I have a notebook somewhere. This notebook right here. This notebook right here, my black notebook, my idea book. This book right here, you'll see I write in black ink. This is relatively fresh. I've got it's all black ink. And I have a black ink pen right here that I write with in this book. Black ink. I left this book at home on Friday. I was going to a conference, and I left this at home, and I was writing in it, and was taking notes in this book, and I left it at home, and I needed to get another. But I had several of these pens on me at the time, and I left it at home, so I had to go to a store and get this notebook to write some of the things that I was working on. But in this notebook, I didn't have a black pen. I could only get a blue pen because that's all they had at the store. Blue pens. So I thought I had the black pen on me, but I didn't have the black pen. I thought I had it on me, but I'd actually left it at home. So I could only get a blue pen. So this notebook here, I write in a blue pen. I have 2 of them, 2 more in my van, but I'm writing in this with blue, and I'm writing in this one with black, and I absolutely cannot bring myself to use this pen here for this notebook, this black pen, and this blue notebook. Because this blue notebook, I have a blue pen that I write in this blue notebook with. And if I lose that pen and I have to get another pen, I will not write a word in that pen in black ink because I started using blue ink. So and this notebook here, I am writing in black. And I will not change pens. If I change pens, I won't change ink. This notebook is a black notebook, a black ink notebook. This is my calendar, and I write things into my calendar in pencil, and then I write over that in pen when it becomes official. But that is a weird. I don't know if it counts as psychotic, but a weird psychological thing with me. I don't like to swap. I don't like to change ink in the middle of a notebook. I'll change pens, but I prefer my pens to be the same ink. And if I absolutely positively have to write something down in a new ink color, it just kills me. I I have to get over like this psychological hump of the writing on one piece of paper that's half blue and half black, or half black and half blue. I'm a crazy person, is what I'm trying to say. My brain doesn't work good. I don't like mixing ink. I don't like writing in black and blue on the same page. What's wrong with me? Send help. That's what I'm trying to say. Send help. Anyway. Hmm. Anyway, are your 3 sample bottles considered to add to store to purchase? Sample bottles considered to add to store to purchase? No. I do not have you I don't have an option in my store to buy sample bottles. That might not be a bad idea though. Put a little option in our store. I Nah, I don't have that. I don't have that available yet because we're not really set up. I mean, the sample bottles are kind of a one-off thing. I bottle those guys myself, so it's kind of a one-off thing. It's a special thing. It's a thing that you can't get anywhere else. The only place you can get it is from me personally to do a pack of samples. That's the only place you can get it is from me. Look at that. Where's that? There it is. Beautiful bottle right there. God, that's beautiful. Okay, carry on. I see Cheech down there in chat. Hornets are the worst. Yeah, they're absolute devil creatures, absolute devils. Um, you see the Republican debate tonight? It was nice. It was civil. I did not see the Republican debate tonight. Although from what I've read and what I've seen, I'm really liking Chris Christie. If Chris Christie was on the ballot, I would have a tough time not voting for him. I'm not going to vote for him, but I would have a tough time not voting for him. I'm tempted since I don't know. I don't even know if the Democrats are going to have a primary in Texas this year. I'm tempted to go vote in the Republican primary just to get Chris Christie on the ballot because I think that would be a hell of a good race. I mean, he's not going to win, but Chris Christie v. Biden would be a fun race to watch. Chris Christie. Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be a fun race to watch. I'm also eagerly anticipating the next round of indictments because rumor is, I mean, the last thing I saw about the indictments was that there might be congressional Republicans who aided and abetted the coup attempt might be indicted, and that means Ted Cruz might be indicted. And I could not wish for a better thing for a worse person. Oh my God. I absolutely hate that man. I despise him. It just, it, it it warms my heart to know that he's Canadian and not a true Texan. But it really just pisses me off that he lives here and he speaks for us. Ugh, God, that guy. Anyway, cheers, Cheech. Welcome to the party. You are on the wheel of doom and glory, which will be spun at the end of September, the beginning of August. Cheech. Make sure I spell that right. Ardolino. Ardilino. Ardo. I misspelled it. Ardolino. There we go. You are on the wheel of doom and glory, which will be spun at the end of September, beginning of August. Damn it, end of September, beginning of October, and the winner of that will receive a sample pack of our whiskeys. You can get on the wheel by getting in chat during one of our live streams, sharing the live stream. That is the second option, or dropping $1 super chat. $1 super chat. Every $1 gets you on the wheel one more time. So there you go. If you want to get 10 entries on that wheel because you weren't hanging out for the you don't know if you'll be back, that's fine. Just drop 10 super chats. Drop 10 $1 super chats. Boom, 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 boom. I have to read them if it happens. Now, what I don't know is what happens when the super chat. Like I'm looking at the chat window. I assume that the super chat goes to the top of the chat window and I have to read it, but I don't know. because I've never had a super chat drop. Not to be like begging. I don't care. You're fine. Wendy's podcast change. That's a new name. Cheers, Wendy's podcast. Wendy's pocket change. Wendy's pocket change. Wendy's pocket CKET change finds. You're on the wheel of doom and glory. Awesome. New riff. That's what it was. Thanks, Dustin. Thanks for reminding me. New riff, single barrel. Welcome to the party, Wendy's Pocket Chat. I hope to see you more often. Come and join us again next week. Hell, join us. Like, stick around for the whole show tonight. That'd be fun. I don't know. So this part of the show, for those of you who are new, this part of the show is the part that I have no control over. This is the Old Humble After Night, or Old Humble After Dark, Old Humble Coast to Coast, whatever. Chat drives this segment of the show. My part of the show is the first 30 minutes. My part of the show is when I give updates about the distillery, stuff that we're doing, shows that are upcoming, and then I do my monologue of the topic for the night. And tonight's topics were giants real? Do they still exist? The answer to both those questions is no, unless you're talking about baseball or football. Yes, then in that case, giants do exist in New Jersey and San Francisco. But as far as a mythical race of creatures, no, they don't. And quite frankly, it's insulting to say that the wonders of the world that we see out there were created by some mythical race of creatures, because the wonders of the world that are out there are in a garden that was tended by people like us, human beings, we did that. We did that. That's our world that we walk on. We're those people, not some mythical creatures that are some otherworldly others. No, we're the people. We're the ones that built the Stonehenge. We're the ones that built the Göbekli Tepe. We're the ones that built the pyramids. We're the ones that built Machu Picchu. We're the ones who did that. We're the amazing people. That's us. And because that's us, that's you. That, like, we're capable of amazing things. And if we stand back and say, oh, it was magical creatures, then we discount our ability to do amazing things. And that's heartbreaking, that there's so many people out there just willing to be lied to, willing to be just willing to be accepting the fact that you're not amazing, that you're not a magical, mystical, amazing creature. You are made of stardust. You are an amazing, mystical creature, and the very atoms that form your body were forged in stars billions of years ago and were sent out into the universe in an explosion of fury and astonishment, things that have never been seen by our universe before. And all of those atoms went out into the world, out into the universe, out into creation, and came together to form you. You are capable of amazing things, even making up nonsense like giants. You are capable of amazing things. And that's probably the most depressing and heartbreaking thing, when people just throw their hands up and say, oh, it was aliens. Oh, it was magic. Oh, no, you're a goddamn miracle. Act like it. Start acting like you're a miracle. Quit dismissing yourself. Be awesome. You dumb idiots. Anyway, back to chat. Where were we? Hope you see the fun of the bet. If I win a bottle, I could drink another 4 years of. Honestly, I would be perfectly happy to send that bottle to you, because if he's on the ballot, he is losing 48 states. He's gonna lose worse than Reagan. I would be absolutely happy to send you that bottle, because I'm gonna be laughing all the way to a Biden reelection. and without, and we all said, like if Trump gets reelected, what could he possibly do in a second term? Like, get us out of NATO, bring down the monetary fund, bring all the wreckage and damage he could do without having to worry about prosecution or re-election. You know, his goons like Stephen Miller doing like just the most heinous shit. What do you think Biden will do? I mean, talk about climate change legislation, talk about like student loan forgiveness. I mean, that motherfucker might just go out and be all like, you know what? Fine. I don't have to worry about reelection. Done. Sign it. Done. Do it. Done. And he might not even survive his second term. And what does he care? What damage he could possibly do? What does he care? It's just like tax code reform, sure. Supreme Court reform, sure. Just sign off on all kinds of stuff. I mean, he doesn't have to live with the consequences. Yeah, put Trump on the ballot. I'm down with that. Let him run from Leavenworth. That'd be hilarious. I mean, if he's got a, if Trump is running from jail, there's no way Ted Cruz wins. No way Ted Cruz wins. We get a new senator in Texas. Oh, that'd be awesome. Get that guy out of office? Oh man. I mean, Trump Cruz has an uphill battle anyway, but you know. Mm. Anyway, do I do a good job of playing both sides and trying to mask my partisanship? I'm not really a partisan. Just in the last 8 years, I've become much more partisan. But I don't really. I'm not. Let's see here. How would I describe this? I'm not a Democrat, but there's only two options. And if the two options are crazy or just not good, well, then I'll go with not good over crazy every damn day of the week. So, you know, that's just I mean, if we actually had a viable other alternative, then, you know, something more centrist, then fine. But, you know, just like in the 1940s when they were like, let's just do Medicare and do Social Security and do all the stuff. And then, like, you know, then you go through the process of perfecting it and fixing it and reforming it and making it better. The problem is, for 30 years, they they reformed it and fixed it and tweaked it and made it better. And then after that, they were just like, fuck it, let's just ruin it all. And then, you know, the next 20 years was just an effort to ruin it all. But that's neither here nor that's a topic for another show. Topic for tonight's show is giants and chat. And actually, it's probably not a topic for any show because I don't want to talk about that shit. Anyway, um, amazing hands and an insanely powerful lower body. He kind of, yeah, he did. His arms were also like 30 feet long. He was, he was, I don't know. I said earlier he was one of the most unathletic people I've ever seen. And that's because he kind of plodded down the basketball course. He wasn't quick. You know what I mean? He wasn't quick like other big men that we've seen. Even Patrick Ewing was quick. And well, compared to Yao Ming, Patrick Ewing was quick, but Patrick Ewing was slow compared to Akeem. Um, I think of guys like Ralph Sampson who were kind of plodding. Um, Other big men, David Robinson was quick. Even Shaq. Shaq was a big, imposing, just physical force, but he was unexpectedly quick. Especially in his prime. He was unexpectedly quick. He was powerful. Shaq's calling card was power, but he was unexpectedly quick for a guy that size. Yao was not unexpectedly quick. He was as quick as you expected him to be, and maybe just a little bit less than that. Um, he was good. He was a top notch center. He was one of the greatest in the history of the game. An absolute freak of nature. But yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to. If I speak too highly of him, I sound like a homer because I was not really a big fan of him and what he did. Uh, he was good. He was great, but I don't know if he was one of the top 50. Uh, yeah. Anyway, um, With a choice of either, you pick neither. And see, that's just the thing, Cheech. One of them's gonna be. You don't get the choice of neither. You've got to choose one of the other, whether you like it or not. One or the other is going to be one whoever's on the ballot. One or the other is going to be president. Whether it's Trump or another or Biden or another, one of those guys. They don't run an election and say, oh well, neither one of them got majority of the vote, so let's just do it over. That's not how it's done. So um, we can hope we drink heavy of either of the 80 or 80 plus options. That's the thing though, Dustin, there's not 80 plus options. There's two. There's two. And I was actually talking to my son about this earlier. Reforming the electoral college and all. We have weird conversations in our house. We were actually talking about electoral college reform. And that should be a topic for a whole nother show. The 1600 plan, where we have 1600 representatives and senators. Part of that would require a whole amendment to the Constitution, but the other part does not require an amendment at all. It just passes a law. But that's another day, unless y'all insist. Alligators and crocodiles are very big. They're huge. They're giants, even, but they're still just big. Alligators and crocodiles. They're not a breed of giants. They're large animals with the thicker atmosphere. Thicker and more oxygenated. Kurt's here. What's up, Walter? W. Kurt on the list. If the stream is running, you are welcome to come in. Welcome to the party, my man. And you just got your name on the Wheel of Doom and Glory. Congratulations. Welcome to the party. Here for the good stuff. Joe's ranting and raving. Poor class of joy. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I do. I mean, this is a happy hour. This is a happy hour. What's a happy hour without a crazy guy at the bar slamming his hand down and saying, we're cosmic creatures. Act like you're a cosmic creature. Quit being whores and bitches and grow up, guys. Come on. What's wrong with you little mimbos? Act like you've been there before. What's wrong with you? And Uranus. Of course, yeah. Always Uranus. We've sent robots there. Haven't we sent robots to Uranus? I'm pretty sure we have. I'm pretty sure we've got a probe at Uranus. Womp womp. I assume it's why we're here. Whoa, hey, what was that? I just saw a super chat. Super chat. Who's in super chat? What happened? Ming had amazing hands. Oh, there we are. Okay, I'll get to it. I saw it. That's awesome. Now I know what happens. So it's why we're here. You guys, it's pretty crazy. Could be a place where we could find life in Uranus. Yeah, probably. It's in Charlie. He loves to travel. I've seen aliens in Roswell. Plastic, but aliens nonetheless. Non-biological alien creatures don't count. Did I miss it? Oh no, I haven't missed it yet. It's coming. It's coming up. I'm super excited. Once AI takes over, why wouldn't machines send stupid humans? See, that's the thing. If AI takes over, that's exactly what you want to send. You want to send the smart machines. Uh-oh, I see the goddamn bacons in the chat. I made up a word with more than 10 letters. Was that the Epithecus? Gigantopithecus? Is that the one? The one you made up? You got to be more specific, man. I read all the shit, and I see all the words. I don't know what they mean. I just read it. Gigantopithecus. That was the word. Gigantopithecus. Right. 4 to 18-year-old bourbon. Finally made it. Welcome to the club, Humble. Yes, I did make it to the club. Cheers, Bacon. The goddamn Bacon has joined chat. Bacon. Woo! Welcome to the party, Bacon. Now it's a party. See the new little book? What Moss Whiskey finished. Time to buy some old humble some old humble pens. I'm good with pens. I'm very peculiar about my pens. I went through all of high school without writing in blue ink. I didn't like blue pens for the longest time. I've said this 1,000 times at least. I am very peculiar about my pens. I had the same conversation with my 12-year-old. He was upset because he kept losing his mechanical pencils. Kept losing his mechanical pencils. Kept losing his mechanical pencils. Like somebody was stealing his mechanical pencils, he said. And I was like, son, what's more likely? That you left your bag open and your pencil fell out and you lost your pencil, or that some kid is stealing pencils out of your bag? Why would they open your bag and steal your pencil, but not paper or a book or like, why wouldn't they take something useful? Right? Like your computer's in there. Why are they taking a mechanical pencil and not your computer? Like it didn't, like the whole thing didn't make any sense. And I talk him off the ledge because he was upset about this. And I explained to him, I was like, look, kiddo, if you when I was a kid, when I was in high school, I lost pens all the time. And it was frustrating because I was peculiar about my pens. I liked my pens. I had some very nice pens because I liked the way they wrote. I liked the way it felt on the paper. I liked the sound as it went across the paper, the scripting sound, the as you wrote, all that. I loved it. But I kept losing those pens. And it got expensive because I was bad with my pens. I kept losing my pens, so I would have to replace the pens. And eventually it got to the point where I had to choose between one of two things: either be more responsible with my pens and quit losing them, or get cheaper pens. Guess which one I chose? Got cheaper pens. I got cheaper pens because I couldn't afford to keep losing pens. And they would just vanish. I wouldn't see anybody having them. Nothing. They just vanished. They were gone. So, and it's also frustrating here at home because I've got these nice pens here at home. This is my Optiflow pen. I mean, look at the nib on this one. You see that? Can you see that? It's a nice fine point pen, and it's got a cap to it. And my lovely wife has this really infuriating habit of taking a pen, taking the cap off, using it, and then putting it down without the cap. That kills a pen. That ruins a damn pen. Why would you do that to a pen? Like, what kind of monster does that? A beautiful monster is the answer to that question. She's a beautiful, gorgeous monster. But my point is, in order to preserve those pens, I keep them in this room right here, my study, my office, my pandemic studio. I keep them in this room where I've done painting and video and whiskey tastings and whiskey drinking and napping and sleeping. This was my outpost when she had COVID. I slept in here when I had COVID. I slept in here. she gets the bedroom when she's sick. I get the office when she's sick. I get my office when I'm sick. She gets the bedroom when I'm sick. This was my infirmary. This is my like sanctuary, and this is where I keep my nice pens. I have a baggie of them. Where did I get these pens from? I stole them from my old office. They're expensive. I'm not going to buy them. Jesus, they're expensive as hell. The pens I buy here at the house, because of my lovely wife, the pens I buy are the clicky pens. See? Because she can't take the lid off of a clicky pen and ruin my perfectly good clicky pens. I don't mind leaving those laying around the house. They don't disappear. She doesn't like it when I walk around and click them, but tough. Anyway, I'm very peculiar about my pens. I don't like the twisty kind. I want my clicky kind or my nice fine tip. Man, when I'm writing with that pen, I hear that sound as it goes across the page. God, I love it. I love my. I am very peculiar about my pens, and I also don't change ink. I don't change ink in a notebook. If I do have to change pens, if I do have to change ink within a notebook, I'll start a fresh page. I My brain doesn't work like normal people's brains. I don't see how that's a normal thing. Um, Hold on, I'm just looking at a special purple edition. No purple pins. God, there's only two pin colors, blue and black. Jesus, don't get me. No, there's blue and black. There's no purple. There's no pink. There's no red, God forbid red or green. Ah, gross. No, absolutely not. Ah. Pence did well in the debate. Pence, Pence from the Hang Mike Pence group. That's nice. That's nice to know that the Republican Party that was chanting just a few months back, Hang Mike Pence is going to vote for him for president. That's adorable. I forgot about Tim Scott even running. That's good. Christie's just a strong talker in these debates. On paper, he should do well. Yeah, I have no idea what's going to shake out. I'll watch the highlights. You know, I might even watch the whole debate. I mean, I'm not sure what value there is. But this is an auspicious occasion. This is an auspicious occasion, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, children of all ages. Can I pin it? Why can't I pin this comment? I want to pin this comment. I can't pin this comment. Pin it. Pin. This is my first ever super chat on my channel. Wendy's Pocket Change Finds is the first ever super chat for the Old Humble Distilling Company, and that is to Wendy's Pocket Finds. That is two super chat entries on the wheel. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you so much. Also, you reminded me that you found it buried. That was a long time ago. I've been on Found It Buried a few times, or been on that channel a few times, but it's been 2 or 3 months. I don't get the notifications from those guys. I saw the shorts coming through on Found It Buried. I'm gonna have to double check and see why I'm not getting notifications from those guys anymore because I mean, it was fun in fact, I remember that conversation. I asked y'all about how you get started because, me, just like, dozens, thousands, millions of other people here in the States, we've got jars of pennies. And like, do you get started just by dumping the pennies out and grouping them up? And y'all gave great advice. Like, you group them up in ways that they all look similar and you look for the ones that aren't similar. You look for the smallest pile that's the most unique of the ones that look similar. And that's how you kind of find collectibles. And when you don't know what you're looking for, that's how you find valuable coins because everybody's got a jar of pennies. Everybody's got a jar, a gallon jug, something of pennies. And that was the conversation that we had. I recall that particular conversation. Yeah. Dope as hell. Dope as hell. And thank you for the super chat. I super duper appreciate it. This is literally, wait, is that a super chat or a membership? That's a super chat. I do in fact remember our conversation, uh, among others. I mean, there were a few more, but that was the one that sticks out most in my mind. And you've just gotten your name entered two more times. That is three. Wendy is now three times. Wendy is ahead of everybody. Wendy's got more spaces on the wheel of doom and glory than anybody else. So take that, everybody else. Wendy is winning. Y'all all suck. um, But yeah, thank you. I'm honored. I really am. 'Cause that's the first one we've had. We've been monetized since the 10th, and I haven't done my super chat video. I haven't done my membership video. I haven't done any of that stuff yet because I've been busy. But our first super chat, and I appreciate it. I'm I'm giddy. I'm excited. Thank you. Um, According to a series of historical documentaries, Artemis Fowl. Artemis Fowl. Oh, bacon. God damn bacon. It was honest to God drive through, so technically old time fast food. Yeah, I was slow, and Ewing was insanely fast before the. That's right. Before the knee injuries, Ewing was ridiculously athletic. That is a good point. Um, Faster than Akeem, honestly. Well, when Akeem when Akeem and Ewing were head to head, that was probably after the knee injuries, I suppose. But when Ewing and Akeem went head to head, they were not even close. Akeem outmatched him by just factors of 10. Anyway, 11:09. What time is it? 11:26. I am behind chat by looks like 20 minutes, but I'll catch up. Young Ewing was faster. 0 to 10 feet. It's been like 10 minutes. Ming wasn't a top 50 guy, but he was a great at. Yeah, I'll give you that. He was for a big guy. I guess he was more athletic than I remember him being. Um, Way behind chat. Uh, I'm catching up. I'm gonna make every effort to catch up. Um, Rumor has it the kid's stealing his pins also believe the Earth is flat. Flat Earthers are the worst. Oh my! I should probably do another Flat Earth episode. Uh, they draw in some of the Flat Earth crew to the show. I could steal mine too. Don't forget to. Oh, that's Nightbot. Thanks, Nightbot. Appreciate that. Yellow, but no, God, no, 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 absolutely not. Highlighters, I can accept, although I never really understood the point of them. Have like a whole highlighter, like highlight the point of this sentence, like it's the whole fucking sentence. Why? Why are we doing this? Why? This doesn't make any sense to me. Now, Lisa, my lawyer, she will be all about highlighters. She's got color coded highlighters, color coded paper tabs. She's in it, and color coded pins. So she's got color coding on her schedule, different colored pens for different types of events, and then she's got the sticky tabs and then the highlighters, and she is all kinds of color coordinated. I'm good with blue and black. That's it. And blue is an addition from how it used to be just black, but I'm okay with adding blue. I'm okay with it. It's still the devil, but I'm okay with adding blue. Um, I only need two colors. And when I'm like doing like notes in a book, first off, why are you writing in a book to begin with? That's why you have a notebook. What kind of crazy person writes in a book? But let's just assume you don't have a notebook and the only thing you can possibly do is write in the margins of a book and ruin a perfectly good book. Let's assume you have to write in the book. Okay, fine. Highlighting's not necessary. Just underline the passage, put a little star there, little note in the margin. Ugh, just saying that. Just ugh, God. Ugh, don't leave books alone. Quit writing in them. God. Ah. Pence legit sounded great in the debate. Oh, I'm sure he did sound great in the debate. I mean, he's honed his message from the point where he was about to be voted out of office in Ohio or Indiana, whichever one it was. See, that's how bad he is. I don't even remember what state he was governor of. I think it was Indiana. To standing completely still and trying to blend into the drapes while he was being Trump's crony and backing every fascist thing that Trump did. to finally growing a backbone on one single day that was designed to get him off of Capitol Hill so that Chuck Grassley could complete the coup. One day that he had a backbone, and we're supposed to look at him and go, "Oh yeah, he's a hero for saving our democracy." Dude, if he had a backbone at any point during the previous 4 years, like he was put in charge of the pandemic response, and it was a prayer circle. He turned the pandemic response team into a prayer circle, for crying out loud. God. Anyway, I see another super chat. What's that? William Hall. Oh, beautiful, man. 10 super chats. Wendy, I think you're a member. Did you get a membership, Wendy? Anyway, William Hall times 10. Ah, that's awesome. Thank you, sir. Okay, so that came up differently than Wendy's. Wendy's was in the chat stream, and I saw the highlight come up, but Williams just popped up there at the top right away. Anyway, I don't have a lot of respect for Pence. I really don't. Like, there were people on the lawn in front of the Capitol with a gallows chanting "Hang Mike Pence," and he couldn't muster the courage to speak against the guy who sent the crowd there to hang him. I I I got no words. Like, and also advocate of uh, uh, pray the gay away and reorientation camps and all the other shit that he's done in his career. Um, so you know now it doesn't. So you now know it doesn't let you know right away. See that? See, that's the thing. I'm not certain. I don't know. Because 199 is our first level of memberships. I'm gonna check the tail of the tape. You've got two entries. Will has 10. See, just looking at the difference of how it presented itself. Okay, let's catch everything up. I don't know what happened. All right, let's catch it up. Move it down. Come on, by. Come on. I mean, Pence is a good talker. I'll give him that. I'll give him credit for that. He is a good talker. He has honed his message. He asked me to do something that was against the Constitution, and I couldn't bring myself to do it. Look, he asked me to do it, and I couldn't legally. I could not do it. The Constitution, blah blah blah. You know, all the crap that he's practiced. Good for him. This is the first time he's saying that. It's been 3 years. The man is no hero. Anyway, um, okay, it was a membership, YouTube's crazy stuff, or it was a. I don't think. I don't know if I do know I have a membership option. I don't know if it's active because I haven't done the announcement video or there's things that I haven't done yet. Um, but when it does become active, if it does become active, the live music Fridays will be membership only. And when we do our Whiskey Run movie, the first episodes of that, or when the episodes drop, they'll be membership only. They'll be like on a 4 week delay or 5 week delay. And then, or maybe it'll be the whole movie will be on delay, and then you get all 18 episodes, and then they become available to the public. And we do our space whiskey stuff. That's going to be a membership based. Those will be membership based videos. Um, but I've got membership perks behind a curtain. I'm working on that. I haven't figured it all out yet, but definitely there's going to be member only videos. Just don't know what those are going to be yet. So there you go. Will Hall, cheers. Enjoying some lights out. Good, good, good. Um, no freaking yellow highlights on Excel. Okay, so I don't mind highlighting the cells. I don't like the yellow highlights on the cells. In Excel, I don't mind color coding cells, but I prefer the lighter colors, like the blues and greens and even reds, but the lighter colored reds with the bolded out letterings. That's my personal. But I'll go with just the plain white Excel, 100% of the time. Except you can't fire analysts that use this. You've debated it. You find us on Twitter. Yep. Okay. And there's Will Hall's 10 super chats. Dude, like I was telling Wendy, I super duper appreciate it. I'm still trying to figure out the whole monetization thing. I've earned $2 whole through ad watches on our monetization since the 10th. $2 whole. I'm on pace to get $58 in a whole year. Woo! Crazy town. But so I super appreciate these super chats from you and Wendy. Thank you so much for supporting our channel and supporting our cause. And all of the money for super chats and memberships and everything that comes from the YouTube channel is going to go back into either advertising for the YouTube channel or upgrading our equipment and getting like the stuff. Like this is its own little ecosystem. Um, so yeah, I appreciate it. Helping to grow this marketing arm of our organization. I appreciate it. And hopefully, I mean, hey, maybe one day I'll just quit making whiskey altogether, and we'll just do. You're from Indiana. That's right. He wasn't Ohio. He was Indiana. Uh, so maybe yeah. In fact, I think no, it was Daniels who was governor when I went to Indiana and visited the Capitol and uh, walked through the Capitol. They still had payphones in the Capitol building in Indiana. Very cool monument to a very cool Civil War monument on the grounds of the Indiana Capitol. The monument was for all the soldiers that were raised and sent to fight for the cause of maintaining the Union. And I asked somebody there, one of the groundskeepers, the parks, whatever people, I'm like, why is there a monument for the Civil War? It's Indiana. Indiana was, separate. I mean, they were several states away, right? They said, well, actually, as one of the main population centers in the country, Indiana, Ohio, and New York sent most of the troops down to the south to fight the war. And Indiana was was the source of more troops than any other state in the north. I think that's what they said. More troops than any other state in the north, even more than New York and Pennsylvania. I was like, wow, that's pretty freaking awesome. Um, um, and I also appreciated uh, the district, the way Indiana does their districting, where it's a grid system and an independent committee that makes the grid, that makes the districts in Indiana. So there's very little gerrymandering to be done in Indiana. Anyway, when you do more money, pops up at the top. Right. Yeah. Thanks. Um, I guess I just missed it when Wendy did hers originally, which is my bad. Sorry about that. The OG Mitch Pence. Oh, Pence versus Mitch McConnell. I mean, Mitch McConnell is just a fucking slug. But to say you have more balls than Mitch McConnell isn't saying much. That's like saying you're at a higher elevation than Death Valley. That's not saying much, man. That is not saying much at all. Mitch McConnell is the absolute worst. Um, I am out of ice. Uh, oh, Apple devices don't do 00, so you had to do $1.99. Oh, I gotcha. Okay, well, you couldn't do 201. I'm kidding. Uh, complete trash political hacks. Yeah, Pence is. I mean, one thing you can say about Mitch McConnell, he's politically savvy. He's a spineless turd, but he's politically savvy. Pence is a spineless turd who's also not politically savvy. His career would have been over had it not been for Trump selecting him as vice president because he was done. He had been a representative and then he got voted out of office as a rep and went to had a radio show and then parlayed his radio show into the governorship and then he was going to be voted out as governor. I mean, he's lost every job he's ever been voted into. And in his last job he got voted into, they wanted to hang him. They wanted to literally, they were literally threatening his life. The goal was to get him off Capitol grounds so that if he wasn't going to perpetuate the coup, Chuck Grassley was. Chuck was ready to go. And that is borne out in the indictment, in the letter and documents of the coup. What he did was 100% correct. Just don't see him. Yeah, I don't see him as being president. He's the Walter Mondale of yeah, no chance. He has very. I don't see Republican voters. Definitely not the MAGA base voting for. I don't see him winning over the MAGA base. I do not see that happening. Not in a million years. The people who are standing out there saying "Hang Mike Pence" are not going to vote for Mike Pence. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know how these people think. Maybe I'm assuming too much when I say that these people think. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. There was a Civil War battle in southern Indiana along the Ohio River. More of a skirmish. They raided a town and burned it down. Oh, so not much of a battle. Yeah. Um, we drove past Indianapolis on our way back. So in July, at the end of July, we had an absolute epic road trip. Our epic road trip took us from here in Houston to Natchez, Mississippi, and from I'm going to lean back in my chair a little bit. From Natchez, Mississippi to the Natchez Trace Parkway. I went from Houston to Natchez to Jackson and then up the Natchez Trace Parkway. The Natchez Trace Parkway was the backbone of commerce in the western United States from pre-colonial times all the way up through the 1800s, Civil War, post-Civil War. As it started off as kind of a game trail, and then it became a hunting trail, and then from hunting trail it just became kind of a pathway that connected communities all the way up and down the Mississippi River. And in post-colonial America and colonization America, that pathway became basically a highway. Farmers would load up their skiffs, they'd load up their rafts, they'd load up boats with all of their farm equipment and all of their goods and all of the stuff that they were going to sell at market, loaded up their boats and went down the Mississippi River to Natchez. They drop everything off at Natchez, sell everything, including the boat, for lumber and wood, and then they would walk the Natchez Trace back up through the Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, or Kentucky and Tennessee countrysides, back up to the Tennessee River Valley, back up to the Ohio River Valley. Andrew Jackson used the Natchez Trace during the War of 1812. Union soldiers used the Natchez Trace during the Civil War. Confederate soldiers used the Natchez Trace during the Civil War. There's a group of six anonymous grave sites of Confederate soldiers who were shot down by Union soldiers on the trace. They confronted each other. There was a skirmish. The Confederate soldiers died. They're buried there. But it's a really cool historic route. It was maintained all the way through the 1800s. After the Civil War, the maintenance kind of went back to the states and the counties, and it was kind of broken up. The early part of the 20th century, when the car was invented and became distributed to the masses, the trace was less important, ceased to be a major viaduct for commerce and horses and carriages, and it became less maintained. It was maintained mostly. The states ceased to maintain it. The counties started to maintain it, but the pathway was always known. And then in the I want to say 1950s, uh, they rediscovered, or not rediscovered, they decided to establish the Natchez Trace National Byway and resurveyed the route and ran a road from Natchez up to Nashville, Tennessee. And this road is a limited access parkway. It's not a highway, it's a byway. And it doesn't go in between communities. It doesn't go in between cities. It is it's literally a scenic byway. The only reason to drive the Natchez Trace byway is to go along the Natchez Trace Parkway. That's it. That's the only reason to drive it. It's not to go from Humble to Houston. It's not Highway 59. It's not I-10 going between Houston and San Antonio. It's not Highway 69 going between Beaumont and Lufkin. There's no reason to do it except to drive the road. The road is the destination itself. Um, so it's got limited access points along to each side. It's got historic spots along the way, Indian mounds, locations where there were stands for produce and goods and services that people could get along the way, hotels, inns, brothels. Um, there was lumber that you could pick up on your trip back home. There was foundries that you could pick up steel on your way home. There were liveries where you could drop off and or pick up horses. There was a French camp where you could, it was a little community where I ran into some nasty fucking hornets. There was, and think about that. Think about the cabins at French camp. They were beautiful cabins. It was an absolutely beautiful time, beautiful place, beautiful space to be there. And I joke about the fact that it had hornets in the wall, but I loved it. It was a beautiful place to be. And my wife's like, we can never go back there because of the hornets. I'm like, no, we can go back there. You just need to make sure that the room doesn't have hornets in it because they're evil. Anyway, it's an absolutely beautiful road. It's absolutely beautiful. It's absolutely historic. Um, I don't remember what I was talking about. I don't remember what started the story or where it was going. Oh no, I remember where it was going. So we take this road trip. We go up through Natchez, up into Nashville, across Kentucky, and into Ohio. Go up through Covington and into Wapakoneta, Ohio, where Neil Armstrong was born. And Neil Armstrong being the father of spaceflight, the America's greatest pioneer and hero. That man was 12 and a half feet tall. He was 12 and a half feet tall and had a penis that was the length and width of my forearm. That man could impregnate you by looking at you, even if you were a dude. If you were a dude and Neil Armstrong looked at you, there was a 63% chance that you got pregnant. And that is a verifiable scientific fact. Verifiable scientific fact. Of all the people he looked at, if he shook your hand, the chances of you getting pregnant went up to 75%. That's why Neil Armstrong didn't shake hands with people. People thought it was because he was standoffish, but the fact is, if he shook hands with you, chances were 75% you would get pregnant. Even if you were a guy. Especially if you were a guy. Especially if you were a guy. It's a true story. I did not just make that stuff up. That is true. That's how legends are made, and that's why people believe in giants. Anyway, We go through Wapak. On the way out, we decide instead of going just straight south and being boring, we decide to go west through Indianapolis. So we literally drove through Indianapolis. We have pictures of us from of Indianapolis from the freeway because we didn't stop. We just took a picture of Lucas Oil Stadium and Indianapolis, and like, oh well, there in the background you can see the Capitol. Oh, it's behind okay, we're done. And then we turned south and went, I think it was I-69, as a matter of fact. We went south out of Indianapolis to Paducah, Kentucky. And from Paducah, Kentucky, we went to Metropolis, Illinois. Metropolis, Illinois, the officially sanctioned metropolis from Star Wars comic or Superman comic books, from Superman comic books, officially sanctioned by DC as being the metropolis from Superman comic books. And then from Metropolis, we drove through Missouri into Arkansas into Memphis back into Arkansas, visited with family, Hot Springs family, and then down into Texas because that's where we live. And there you go. It was a great trip. But all of that story was to say we drove through Indianapolis. We drove through Indianapolis a few weeks ago. That was a rambling adventure just to say we drove through Indianapolis a few weeks ago. Oh, Christ almighty. Uh, oh, hey, look there. Goddamn bacon. Another super chat. Is that $2.23? Also can't do 201, oddly enough. Bacon, that didn't pop up at the top. That did not pop up at the top. I wonder why. So that is another $2 for 2 entries for bacon. The goddamn bacon times 2. So I wonder why you can't do 220. Why it's 223 and not 2 even. I am curious. I want to find out more. I would rank being threatened to be hung as a plus for a politician. You would think being threatened to be hung would be a plus for a politician, but the people threatening to hang him aren't the ones that are voted for him, and the people who wouldn't vote for him aren't threatening to hang him. Like there's a whole like half of the population that wouldn't vote for him, and then like half of the population of the people that would vote for him wanted to hang him. So I don't know how these people think. Two problems with that statement. I agree with you on that one. Find us on Twitter. Thank you, Bacon. I do 100% appreciate the support. Thank you so much, man. It is humbling, to say the very least. Find a Buried is in Canada. Found a Buried in Canada. You're in Massachusetts. Interesting. All right. You are in. No. Found it buried in Canada. That's right. They do that weird Canadian money every once in a while. Loonies or toonies or whatever they're called. That weird Canadian money, trying to find like special stuff in the Canadian money. I wouldn't know if I found something special with Canadian money ever. Race with tears of joy. Oh, face with tears of joy. That's the emojis. All right. Have I seen Jimmy Russell's? I don't know. I have no idea who Jimmy Russell is. $2 super chat. Oh, okay, so $2 super chats don't pop up at the top. I got you. I guess that's why they're blue. I guess they're different. I got you. The $5 minimum for the top. That's fair. Just saying, I like Pence more because his own party wanted to hang him. I cannot muster any kind of respect for Mike Pence. After what he did for 4 years, I just can't. I just can't. And how does he stand in front of the people who are chanting "Hang Mike Pence" and say, "Yeah, I want to be your president"? Like, how does someone have dignity to do that, or a lack of dignity to do that. I don't know. I just don't. I don't understand it. But good night, William. Appreciate it. I will add you to the. I will add you to the wheel. You have gotten your entries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Did I not put William? Ooh, I did not. William Hall. I got one more entry for Will Hall. All right, so these are. I have two sides to my notebook here. This side is the people who are in chat. This side is super chats. So I will make sure I will update my list, my spreadsheet, without highlighted cells, and make sure that everybody's in there, so that when I add everything to the wheel, everybody will be there. The names will be randomized out. They'll be randomized out. We'll spin it, and poof, we'll get a winner. It's gonna be awesome. How can you be a bourbon guy and not know Jimmy? The Russell, James Russell. Yeah, I know James Russell. I know that name. Jimmy Russell, a bourbon guy. In context, I didn't know it in context. You said Third Arm, and I was thinking porn actor. I'm like, I don't know any porn actors named Jimmy Russell. Who knows guys' porn actors' names? Nobody knows that shit. I don't expect anyone to know anyone in bourbon other than Jimmy. Yeah, the average Republican, not one of the nut jobs. Average Republican wasn't one of the nut jobs on January 6th. I would like to say the average Republican wasn't one of the nut jobs on January 6th, but the the most vocal. I mean, I really want to think that the nut jobs on January 6th were not the average Republicans. I really want to think that. I really do want to think that. And I would like the Republican Party to prove that to me at some point before I consider supporting that party again. It shouldn't be hard to prove that. That should be fairly easy. All right, it's midnight, guys. I've been doing this for 2 hours. Look at my analytics over here on this page, on this screen. What's it say? My system shut down on this side of the page. No, it says 20. It says, okay, we got the stuff. 26 times 14 and a half. 14 and a third, I suppose it is. Still 91 degrees in the feels like temperatures. 26 times 14.3. 371. That's 6.5 hours. That's not bad. That's good. That's good watch time. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. And we got some super chats out of it. $15. I appreciate it, guys. I really do. Tell you what. Let's go for another. I mean, I could go for another hour. What do y'all say? Another hour? What do we have to talk about? What else do we have to talk about? Let's talk about the world tour. So the world tour is going to take me all over Texas. Oh, I just hired a sales guy. Y'all don't even know about that. Y'all don't care. What else? For that stupid heart's in the way. What's it say? Finds duly noted. What has she said? Oh, where's she at? Right. Okay. Have I run out of steam? Is it midnight and I'm out of steam? Am I done? Is the show done? Are we finished? Okay, that's the sales guy. Okay, so y'all know I ain't got no money. Like we're a struggling little small business. We're trying. We're working. Um, I have worked with several influencers over the last several months. Uh, Engaged, I guess, is the better word for it. Several influencers, and so I don't have a particularly high opinion of influencers. Um, because a lot of them call themselves influencers because they have big titties and small bikinis, but they're not really influencers. They don't influence anybody to buy anything or do anything. They just like have a million followers because they have big titties and small bikinis. And I see this in the liquor stores all the time, all the time. The agencies that send those tasters out are agencies like Perfect 10 Modeling Agency, Top Model, uh, Experian Model, Model. They're all modeling agencies. These people don't know how to sell whiskey. They're not good at selling whiskey. They're not good at selling anything except boobies and booties. Um, so I have a generally a fairly low opinion of influencers. I mean, not once have any of them ever influenced me to buy anything. Um, I mean, I guess they're really good at selling their OnlyFans pages. I guess because they're all what 1% top OnlyFan earners or whatever they say in their bios, and it's just like, ugh, that's all y'all got, really? Come on, be better. Um, so I generally have a fairly low opinion of influencers or people that call themselves influencers because they don't typically influence people to do anything. I'm willing to couch that opinion if there's somebody who is an actual influencer, like a middle-aged white guy who can actually influence people to buy whiskey. I would not call myself an influencer, but by definition of influencing, I have influenced more people to buy whiskey than any sports bra or hot sports bra beclad or hot panted young lady has ever managed to sell for my brand. That said, I find it very hard to find salesmen because there's people that can draw crowds and there's people that can close sales. I've hooked up with several influencers. I've offered them bottles, different incentives. Most of them I've said, I'll give you a discount code, free shipping under your code, sell whiskey, free whiskey. I'll give you a 10% commission on anything you sell. So far, one of them has sold whiskey. One out of like 8. One. He's in New York. He's good. Jeff with a G. Y'all know him. He's good. He's good at what he does. He's really good at what he does. He's a hell of a self promoter, hell of a show promoter. He can promote the shit out of anything. He's good. He's really good, and he's sold the first online bottles being sold by people who aren't me, which is cool, which is really cool. And that's out of and like 5 so far. Uh, and it's fair. They're learning their thing. They've got their Twitch streams. They've got their people. They've got their stuff. They're they get their ad revenues. They get their free product. But I want to give them money. I want them to actually sell things. Um, Influence their people to do a thing, and that's a different skill. That's a different skill. Marketing and sales are 2 different things. They're not the same. Marketing is, you tell people about it. You tell people about it. You tell people about it. Sales is you tell people about it. And oh, by the way, it's only $60 a bottle. And if you bring it home today, I'll be your friend. What's up? And granted, hot pants and sports bras can be very influential when it comes to that, but you still have to close the sale. Close it. Anyway, that said, I found a guy. I've had the feelers out for some time, trying to find somebody who can come around and sell whiskey, go B2B, um, liquor store to liquor store, bar to bar to bar to bar. Who has the time to do it? Because I ain't got the time to do it. I'm making whiskey. I'm doing promotional work. I'm doing all kinds of shit here in the office. I don't have time to consistently go between liquor stores and between restaurants and bars and all that stuff. So I finally found a guy. Not only did I find a guy, but I found a guy who works for cheap and understands how commissions work. Because there's a whole lot of people that are like, "Yeah, can you just pay me money?" And like, no, I'm not just gonna fucking give you money. for not doing anything. Are you kidding me? You're a salesman. You're a salesperson. Like, I'm gonna just pay you to be a salesperson who doesn't sell shit? No, you gotta go out and sell shit. Kill something, drag it back to the cave. So anyway, I found a dude. That's the whole story. I found a dude. Found a dude who can who knows what sales are, how it works. Every door, every floor. Uh, Too big. There's nothing too big or too small. We serve them all. Every person is an opportunity. Every person is a sale. Uh, you just got to close it. You got to figure out how to close it. So I'm going to unleash him tomorrow. I'm going to send it. He's got some information. I owe him some information. It's going to all come to him. And then I'm going to let him loose. See if he can get some shit done. That's going to be cool. We're also shipping off 4 cases of whiskey to Italy. We're going to be in Italy by the end of this month. Dope as hell, yeah? Yeah. Super dope. Looking forward to it. Very excited about that. I really should talk to Matt and Whiskey Crusaders to see if he'd help you. Nope, they won't. Wait, Whiskey Crusaders? Which ones are those? I'm thinking of Whiskey Vault. Whiskey Crusaders might. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea. If they, I don't know. I can't remember if they're the people I'm thinking of. But if they're the people I'm thinking of, and I saw them at the Texas Whiskey Fest, then they won't be helpful. But we'll see. We'll see. I need to. I need to get some structural things in place before we go reaching out to those guys. Um, can you have a wrench, Wendy? Wendy needs a wrench, and because she was let's do that. Standard moderator. Go to it, Wendy. You are a wrench now. Congratulations. Thank you for your super chat. I appreciate it. Profoundly appreciate it. You've earned your wrench. You bought your wrench, but you also earned it. You're good people. Thank you so much. He knows people in Texas who can help you open doors and can talk to. None of these guys will want money. Then that's not who I talked to at the Texas Whiskey Fest. Yeah, I'll reach out to the Crusaders. I can do that. It's a good idea. Thank you, Justin. I will do just that. And look here, I'm writing it down in my notebook. Whiskey. I've talked to the Whiskey Crusaders guys. There's a bunch of channels that are doing some really cool stuff. Bad Axe Bourbon is doing some cool stuff with the smaller craft distilleries out in California. The gentleman, I want to say it's the inebriated gentleman, but that's not who it is. Who are they? The gentleman. Gentlemen, what are they called? What is their fucking channel? The Upright Gentleman? No, the Distinguished Gentleman, the Whiskey Gentleman, the Gentleman podcast. The Tasteless Gentleman? No, that's not them. Oh hell, it'll come to me later. But they're doing some fun stuff too. They're big promoters of Texas whiskeys. And they're out of Beaumont. And the Whiskey Crusaders, if I'm not mistaken, are out of Austin. Pretty good events where you could bring your stuff. That is a great plan. I like that plan. No, I don't expect the Whiskey Vault to help. They don't. They're expensive. They don't. We'll talk offline. Not tonight, honey. We'll talk offline. Uh, where are we at? There we are. Love when my kids ask, "Do you have any extra money you can give me?" I am a Smurf. You are a Smurf. You are blue. Da do dee da do da da do dee da do die. We can trade samples. Matt and I are legit friends. Oh, okay. I swear I've talked to the Whiskey Crusaders before. I know them in a context, and I'm trying to remember the context. I think maybe I've just popped into chat with those guys. I've seen their shows and popped into chat. I don't know. I can't remember. I'm sure it's something along those lines. Anyway, I've had bad experiences with the real life human beings going into stores. You know, but we're trying to build it out. We're a small company. I am a small company. The Old Humble Distilling Company is a company of one people. Um, but as of today, I have a sales team. I have a sales staff that is business to business, getting stuff in liquor stores. And I have a marketing team that is working to pull things out of liquor stores and get things. I mean, she was at the Woodlands tonight and sold 4 bottles on a Wednesday night, which is pretty damn good. I'm pretty satisfied with the 4 bottles on a Wednesday night in the Woodlands. Um, Somebody knows everyone in Texas in the industry. He's opening his own tasting bar soon. He's had huge help getting his this deal done. I'm gonna be in Fort Worth on Saturday. Maybe it's an opportunity to get together with him. Uh, Tell you what, send me his email address. Introduce me via email if I haven't talked to him already. Um, you know my email, info at distilling.com. Info, oh, I misspelled info. Shit. INFO. Come on. F. oldhumbledistilling.com. You know my email address. Give us an introduction. I'm going to be up in Fort Worth on Saturday, and I'll be up in Dallas on Monday. So if we get a chance to get together, if we get a chance to have lunch or something, we can get together and chat with the dude. I mean, I'm going to have shit ton of samples. So there you go. It's a big deal in the whiskey community. Um, Wait, didn't I do this already? Did I go back in time? I think I did. Um, what happened? I did. I went back in time. Let's fix that. Forward in time. Get the whiskey vault. I'm not worried about the whiskey vault. The kids ask. You're a Smurf with Matt. That's in the Dallas area. There we are. Now we're back in real time. Um, everyone in Texas industry. Um, um, but Matt's not a big channel or a big. I'm not worried about big channels, big way. And look, if you've got a personal, a deep connection with your 100-person audience, that is way better than having a superficial connection with your million-person audience. I don't, like I said, I would rather a small channel with an engaged audience than a large channel with a disengaged audience. You have 20, 30, 50,000 people and like they're just like fleetingly connected, then I'm less, I'm less impressed. And I really am. How do I describe this? I'm a whiskey manufacturer with a YouTube channel. I'm not a YouTuber with a whiskey channel or with a whiskey distillery. My first and foremost goal, my intention is to make and sell whiskey. I mean, you know, no, no delusions, no illusions, no nothing like that. This is the Palm Olive soap opera hour. Uh, the Palm Olive variety hour. I am here selling my bourbon. That's what I'm doing. That's my intent to raise the visibility of my alcohol, to raise the visibility of my product, to show it off, to reach it out to a larger client base, a larger customer base. My whole point of this is to spread some entertainment. Um, if you're entertained by the Old Humble Distilling Company, maybe you will buy some of my Old Humble Distilling booze. That's the whole point. That's the goal. Boost sales. And it's worked over, it's been somewhat, it's not as effective as going to the store and feeding people samples, but, stores aren't open right now. So, the tasting room is the store's tasting room and those three things. And this gives me a nationwide reach. I can go from coast to coast and border to border. So, no qualms about it. This is what the whole point of this channel is, a corporate promotion channel. I'm not. I got no Jiminy Cricket over here on my shoulder telling me this is a bad idea. You shouldn't do it. No, I'm honest. Right out front. I'm here to sell whiskey. Responsibly sell whiskey. I want you to be 21. I want you to be a grown up. I want you to drink responsibly. Because I want you to have more. I don't want you to get all shit faced and get in an accident, because then you don't have more. That's not good. That's not good for business. I want you to be responsible. I want you to do it at home. I want you to do it with friends. But that said, um, you know, I personally would rather have a small engaged audience than tens of thousands of people. That's why I've never engaged with one of those, increase your subscriber base by 10,000 people by giving me $40. Why would I do that? Like, why would I? Like, what's the number mean to me? What's the number of 10,000 mean to me? When if it's 10,000 people that are just bots, or 10,000 uh, uh, a 10,000 computer army, but it's not actual human beings. My connection needs to be with actual people who will come back to my channel and see some of the stuff that I do and enjoy and be entertained. That's what I want to do. That's the goal. Do people see the channel, be engaged with the channel, be entertained by the channel, and then when they go to the liquor store, if they go to the liquor store, they see our brand, they go, "Oh, I know those guys. Those are the guys with the YouTube channel," and then they buy our whiskey. That's the goal. Um, so yeah, I'd rather, a couple hundred to 300. Hell, I'd rather 5,000 people who are engaged than 50,000 people who aren't. Because, if you have 1% of 50,000 people or 10% of 5,000 people, well, you're doing better with the 5,000 people than you are with the 50. So there you go. There you go. Have a great day. Um, yeah. If he doesn't, well, sorry. That's a good point. Um, and that's the other thing about our stuff. Like, some of it, like, I'm getting better at it every time. Every batch I do, I'm getting better at it. This fourth batch that we've got is better than our second batch. Our fifth batch will be better than our fourth batch. Figuring out the vagaries of the aging process within our new facility. We've done 4 barrelings, give or take, 4 or 5 barrelings out of this fourth batch, and then the fifth batch we're going to do another 4 or 5 barrelings, and we get an idea for how it all fits together and how it works. That's the you know that's it's a learning process, and once I zero in on how the new facility really works and affects the whiskey, then I will have it drilled in, and we'll be making the best damn whiskey, period. But it's an iterative process. It's always an iterative process. Iterative. How's that, huh? Oh, $5 word there, or $3 brain. Um, eat something colored blue live on the show. Jesus, bacon. I'm gonna block you. He's got a lot more than just a channel. His value in Texas is mostly not the channel. I'm down. I'm always interested in I was reading about me on Blue TF. Uh Good reminder that I need to update that. Jeez. Thank you. I appreciate that, Dustin. Thank you so much. All right, what time is it? Where are we at? 13:30. I think my watch time has actually gone down. 29 times 13.5 divided by 6. I mean, it's gone up. We're at 60, 6.5 versus 6 hours. But it's gone from 14:20 down to 13:30 for the average time. But we've got more views over the last few minutes. Anyway, it's time to wrap this up, guys. It's 12:20. Last 9 minutes. We're going to wrap this up at 12:30. Last 9 minutes of the show. So I'm going to close the chat screen, but I'm going to keep watching as chat comes through. I've got it here on the right side of my screen. We're going to keep watching, but we're going to go into closing mode. Closing time. Something about your alcohol and pour out your whiskey and wine or something like that. Don't remember the lyrics. Don't matter what the lyrics were, be quite honest. 121 where you're at. It's 12:21 where I'm at. And I do have to deliver these 4 cases to the southwest side of town in the morning. So I do have stuff to do in the morning and emails to send tonight. So, well, I'll send those in the morning too. Anyway, I'm the Old Humble Guy. This is the Old Humble Distilling Company's channel. That's who we are. That is my lava lamp. That's who we are right there, the Old Humble. And this is what we do. Delicious, nutritious whiskey. That is one of my barrels. That is my subscribe today. Don't forget to subscribe. Last time we were here, we were at 2240 up here in the upper corner. It was actually 2249. We blew through 2250 and all the way up to 2260. And as of right now, this very moment, according to my analytics tracker, we are at 2268. It is entirely, oh shit. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to step into the other room and grab 2 pieces of ice. I'm going to plop them in here and use the restroom while the ad twins are playing. And we will run for another 30 minutes. And hopefully, in those 30 minutes, we'll get 2 more subs. Because I want to see that move up to 2270. I'll be right back.
Is your bar looking a little ordinary? Is it lacking something awesome? Well, head out to your local liquor store and pick up something extraordinary. Grab a bottle of Old Humble Straight Whiskey or Old Humble Special Reserve. They're clean, smooth, easy drinking whiskeys that taste the way whiskey should taste. From humble beginnings to an extraordinary finish, Old Humble whiskeys are what your bar needs today. Walk tall, be awesome, and drink humble. Old Humble Straight Whiskey and Old Humble Special Reserve. Get yours today.
I'm back. So here's the thing. I turned the lights out before I left the room of the kitchen, and I couldn't see where I was going. And I tripped over a table. I'm okay. Thanks for asking. But I've got 1 fresh glass. There's my whiskey. Go back to the chat screen. We've got 2 subs to get us up to 2270. Open chat back up. There we go. Y'all know about the quirks of my personality, various quirks of my personalities. Personalities, plural. I don't like blue ink. I have come to tolerate blue ink, but it is still evil. I don't like the color blue in general. It's unnatural. I like the color. Oh, no, I take that back. I like the color blue. My logo, my sign, my logo. Where's that? My logo, lettering, logo. I like the color. I don't like it in application. I don't want it on my skin. Ugh. The dye when I dyed my beard blue was just ugh. I hated it. It just makes my skin crawl thinking about it. God dang it. Blue shirts, blue jeans, even blue hats. I'm cool with that. I don't want it on my skin. I don't like blue ink. I don't like it. Absolutely don't like blue food. So when Bacon says some nonsense about convincing me to eat something blue on the stream here, dude, I ate Brussels sprouts on stream live. Lisa and my lovely wife, Mrs. Old Humble Guy, made me four different Brussels sprouts dishes. I almost threw up. I ate Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts are disgusting. There's not a realm where Brussels sprouts are edible foods. The best way to prepare them is with a lot of oil so they slide right off the pan and into the trash can. And I did that on live screen. I had a Pocky One Chip twice. I had the death nuts. I've done shit. I'm too old for that crap now, man. Eat something blue. I don't like king cake. I don't like king cake. Why don't you like king cake, old humble guy? That's kind of dumb. King cake tastes delicious. I know it tastes delicious. I'm well aware of how delicious king cake is. I don't like king cake. King cake being a Mardi Gras favorite, a little round bundt cake looking thing, bigger than bundt cake is, but it's round cake and it's got the dye on it and the sprinkles and stuff, and it's delicious, but I don't like it. You know why I don't like it? Because there's a section of it that's dyed blue. And I don't like blue food. It's unnatural. It's weird. Blueberries, fine. They grow that way. What's king cake? What is king cake? What is king cake? What is king cake? Oh, Wendy. Oh, Wendy. Oh, Wendy. Oh, Wendy. It is a Mardi Gras tradition. Louisiana Mardi Gras tradition. Um, king cake. It is absolutely fantastic. But look at this. Nope, that's not what I want to do. Images. Give me images. I'll show you. It is. Look at that. Look at that. All the icing and stuff. Oh, mm. It's delicious. It's like a. It's like a. Here's another one. Let me hide my video viewer here. Go. Get out of here. Video viewer, go away. There it is. That's the king cake. Look at it. Wow. There's several of them. Look at. It's got all the colored icing and stuff, and that's the actual cake that gets colored. It's a tradition, a Mardi Gras tradition. King cake is a Mardi Gras tradition. Uh, they have the king cake, and there's a baby in it, and there's beads in it, and there's if you get the baby, you're going to be fertile in the next year. If you get the beads, you'll be something something. You get the coin, you're prosperous. It's a Mardi Gras tradition, and my family's Louisiana, so it's like a Louisiana Mardi Gras tradition. I don't know if they do it in I don't know if they do it in Carnival down in South America, but but the cake's delicious. It's light and fluffy and just and moist. It's light and fluffy and moist. And it's just this delicious, mouth-watering sponge cake type of thing. And then they go and dye it. They dye the cake. It has a sprinkle of the either powdered sugar or icing or whatever they sprinkle on top of it, and they dye a portion of it green and purple and blue and gold. Food shouldn't be blue unless it was born that way, like a blueberry. That's blue. That's delicious. Blueberries are okay. They're kind of sweet for me. I'm not a big fan of how they taste. I'm okay with their color. I'm not a big fan of how they taste. I think they kind of taste the way once I had an apple pie. There was a low sugar apple pie because it used equate instead of sugar, and it tasted unnatural. You know what I mean? It didn't taste like apple pie tastes. It tasted like some kind of metallic version of apple pie. That's kind of how I feel like blueberries taste. They don't taste like normal fruit. They taste like the equate version of that fruit, the sugar-free version. I don't like blueberries. But not because they're blue. I don't like blueberries because they taste like shit. Um, they're too sweet. There's no tartness to them. I don't like them. I like blackberries, like the raspberries, but I don't like blueberries. Anyway, that said, king cake is regular sponge cake sweetened and dyed. And that's what kills it for me. The dye doesn't taste like anything, but when you have this piece of cake that's green or blue or purple, and you're just like, because you know it's gonna like dye your lips and your tongue. Ugh. I don't like. I don't even like blue popsicles. You know what blue popsicles do to your tongue? Turns your tongue blue. I don't like blue popsicles. That's abnormal. It's unnatural. Weird. No. No. I can't do blue. I don't like blue food. If you bring me one of those cookies, those like cookie cake things, and it's got the icing on it, and it's like green or white icing around the outside and brown icing on the inside and green icing like laced in between, fine. But if you got blue on that thing, I am scraping that shit off because I do not want to eat blue, abnormal, unnatural, weird icing. No, I don't want it. I I don't know. I don't know what it is about blue ink and blue icing and blue food, blue colored food, blue dyed food. It does not. It's unnatural. It's abnormal. It's alien. It's foreign. It's wrong. There's a wrongness to it, and I can't. I can't. I just can't. I can't even. I I, I can't even. I mean, that said, I'll still do it. There's exceptions to the rule. There's always exceptions to the rule when you're at a birthday party or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, have some cake," and you're like, "Fine." You just kind of close your nose and bite it. It's also how I met my wife. Um, but I hate blueberries because they taste like shit. I shall refrain from asking about blueberry pie. No, I don't like blueberry pie either. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I don't think we're gonna get to 2270 before I wrap up, but I at least want to give it 30 minutes to try. I wrapped up the last show at 2249. I'm gonna wrap this one up at 2268. I need to get my subs like in line with the show so we can be all like, there it is. Click, we click the next one. Woohoo! Um, you're a cake decorator, and I was not familiar. You were a cake decorator? Oh, I don't guess they do king cake up in what'd you say, Massachusetts? I don't guess they. I mean, is Mardi Gras a big deal up there? I mean, down here, Mardi Gras is a big deal. We got Galveston, we got New Orleans, we got all of Louisiana. Um, Mardi Gras is a big deal. I guess maybe in Boston, Mardi Gras would be a big deal because it's a big Catholic town, but it's Irish Catholic. I don't know. Anyway, is Mardi Gras a big deal where you're at? Because it's a big deal down here. It's a big deal. Uh, Fat Tuesday, Ash Wednesday. I was in New Orleans by accident on the day before Mardi Gras, and it was insane, absolutely insane. The Mardi Gras in Galveston is like the family version of Mardi Gras in New Orleans because we also went to Mardi Gras in Galveston, and Mardi Gras in Galveston is like it's like how do I describe this? Like when burlesque dancers do a book reading at a library, you know, that's what Galveston Mardi Gras is like. Yeah, yeah, that's what it's like. Um, Galveston is a yeah. The Galveston Mardi Gras is not fun. That's the best way to describe it. It's just not fun. It's a lot of people, a lot of fun, and there's like people on balconies with beads, and they're like, "Take off your hat," and you're like, "Ah," and they throw you your beads. Meanwhile, in New Orleans, they're like, "Show your tits, show your cock." Oh, good times. Golly. Oh, and you're like, I'm not gonna do it down here. And they're like, do it. And they're like, no, I'm coming up there. And they're like, oh, don't you come up here. And then you go up there and you get the beads. It's cool. It's fun. It's a fun time. Galveston, Galveston Mardi Gras is not the same. Not even close to the same as Galveston or as New Orleans Mardi Gras. New Orleans, I mean, Jesus, a random Wednesday in New Orleans is fucking insane. Boy, I got stories. I got so many stories. I went to New Orleans 3 times to watch University of Houston versus Tulane, and one of the times I went to the University versus Tulane game in New Orleans, they were playing in Houston. So we had good times. We had some good times. We had some good times in New Orleans that other people told us about. That's how good of the time we had in New Orleans. Um, Not verifiable. There were stories that were not verifiable because I was not there. I was not mentally there. I was physically there, but not mentally there. I had no idea what was going on. But they told me we had a really good time. New Orleans is a strange, mystical, magical place. A place where you go to it and like they talk about Vegas. I've never been to Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Vegas is full of beautiful people all the time. New Orleans is a place that's not in the middle of a desert. It's got like seasons. It's got history. It wasn't invented in the 50s. New Orleans is a place that's been around for 300 years. It is magic, mystical. There's voodoo. There's there's history in New Orleans. There's not history in Vegas. There's there's high school history in Vegas. There's since the 1950s in Vegas. there's also since the 1950s in New Orleans, and New Orleans is got this connection to American culture, French culture, Creole culture, American Indian culture, slave culture, freedman culture. Uh, New Orleans has this melting pot of history and culture in that whole like everything of that town. It is. I mean, if you spend 48 hours in New Orleans, you are going to see if you make even a modest effort, you are going to see everything. Everything. If you spend 48 hours in Vegas, I don't know, you see Britney Spears and this polished corporate buffet of what it is they want you to see. You know, I don't know. I don't know. New Orleans is God. New Orleans is a special place. It really is. It's an absolute jewel. It's a gem. It's absolutely beautiful, and not just beautiful architecturally, like beautiful to go to, because only the French Quarter is beautiful to see. The rest of the town is just trash. It looks like every other fucking city. But it's beautiful, and it's just a mosaic of what New Orleans is. The crossroads of history that New Orleans represents. It's a beautiful place. I mean, you need to go if you ever go. If you ever get the opportunity to go, don't just go overnight. Spend a week. Take in take in the battlefields. Take in the the historical sites. Go to the lower wards that got washed out in the flood from Katrina. Go to go to the white flight part on the other side of the lake. Go check the whole thing out. It's a beautiful place. You could probably do it in 3 days, but give yourself a day to rest. Make it 5. Mm. Plymouth Rock. That's Massachusetts. You said you were in Massachusetts. Plymouth Rock. That is nowhere near Boston, if my memory serves. Um, I think Plymouth Rock is what, an hour and change away from Boston? Am I right? Am I wrong? Um, anyway, um, you'll let me know. Give me an update on that. 13.6 times 30. I'm a little bit disappointed that I didn't have more people of the Giants Are Real ilk joining me from the shorts for the show tonight. I mean, I had fun. This was a great show. Don't get me wrong. Um, but I really did think I would have more people coming in arguing with me about Giants. Arguing with me about Giants, when they're like, Giants are real, Giants are real. No, you don't understand. You need to get Jesus. That was a common refrain. The Bible says giants exist. Well, the Bible says a lot of shit, and it's there's a lot of stuff in here. Some of it's historic in nature. Some of it is fairy tale in nature. Some of it's and I don't doubt for a second. Like, I believe in the veracity of my Bible. I mean, I'm an elder of the church. I believe in the veracity of the Bible. But I also believe that, like, the I believe in the veracity of the tale, but I believe in the fallacy of the people telling the tale. Does that make sense? Like, you're a very finite person trying to describe the infinite. How the fuck can you possibly describe the infinite accurately? I mean, most of us don't know more than 6 digits of pi. I mean, shit, most of us don't even know more than 3 digits of pi. You're going to try and tell me you can describe pi? The ratio between circumference and diameter of a circle? You're going to describe that to me when you don't know more than 3 digits? 6 digits? And you think you can accurately describe the face of God? Kidding me? 3.14159. Yeah, I only know 6. 3.14159. I only know 6. I can't go past that. Don't call it Nolans. Nobody calls it that. Nobody. What is wrong? All right, look. New Orleans, New Orleans, New Orleans. Nobody calls it Nolans. Nobody. Nobody does that. unless unless there are fewer, more efficient ways to announce to everybody on Bourbon Street that you're, quote, not from around these parts than saying out loud so that other people can hear you, Nolans. Nobody says that except for people who don't know or aren't from New Orleans. My family's from the South, and between my generation and my parents' generation, there's New Orleans, New Orleans, New Orleans. 3 different proper pronunciations. None of them are Nolans. You cannot find somebody in New Orleans, or New Orleans that says Nolans. Nobody. Nobody. Or as the people who aren't from New Orleans would say, Naughty. That is. Oh, there's. I'm not even going to say that's like nails on a chalkboard because nails on a chalkboard serve a purpose. You run the nails across the chalk and that like silences the room. You're like, it silences the room. Everybody's like, what? No. And I know you know better. I'm sure you know better. I assume you know better. I hope you know better. Yeah, I like descended down the ladder there. I'm confident that you know better. Well, I assume, I'm pretty sure, like you probably do. Maybe. All right. I'm just gonna assume you're trolling. Because I have a dear sweet girlfriend who'll do that shit to me all the time. She's like, I'm going back to Nolans. Like, no, you're not. You're not going anywhere near the place you think you're talking about because that place doesn't exist. Not even close. That's not a thing. You know better, Lisa. Not that Lisa, the other Lisa. You don't know this Lisa. This Lisa's from Canada. She doesn't go to the same high school as you. She goes to a different high school. You don't know her. She's from Canada. hmm. Y'all have given me good fodder for the next several videos, by the way. I don't want to write this shit down. I'll remember it in the morning. If it's worth remembering, I'll remember it in the morning. No, I'm going to write it down. If it's one thing that I've learned from doing whiskey shit, if it's worth remembering, it's probably not good enough for a YouTube video. New Orleans pronunciation blue food, Brussels sprouts, and Giants again. These are ideas for my longer form short videos. My short form videos. There's the shorts, the short form videos, and then of course our live videos, the long form videos here. Um, have I talked to y'all about the Whiskey Run, the movie? I haven't. I haven't talked about the movie yet on this show, have I? Okay, that's fair. A week ago, was it a week ago? Or 2 weeks ago? No, a week ago. I talked about like I was a buddy of mine reached out and said, "Hey, you should do a show. You should do a movie with your whiskey at the center of it to promote your brand." I'm like, "That's a pretty good idea because uh I'm what's the word? Entertaining? No, encouraging? No. Um, I don't know what the word is. I can't remember the word. It'll come to me in a minute. Um, but yeah, I'm like, because I've been thinking about this for a long time, doing some kind of like movie show, something with our whiskey in the middle of it. I mean, hell, I have a whole YouTube channel. Um, and I've made no mystery of the fact that I am a huge fan of Smokey and the Bandit, considering it is the perfect movie ever made. The absolute perfect movie ever made. It has everything in it. It has cool car, cool truck, cool guy driving the truck, cool guy driving the car. Pretty girl, runaway bride, romance, bromance, an awesome dog, a car chase, a sheriff. That's like 20 things right there. It has all the stuff. It is the perfect movie. The perfect movie. You can argue this point, but you would be wrong. Perfect movie. Smokey and the Van. Okay? Um, so the idea of the movie is, and we talked about this last week. I like workshopped it last week. I came up with a whole like outline for the movie last week on the show. If you want to know more, you want to see the creative process in real time, go to last week's episode and watch that, the chat portion. Anyway, so the whole premise is going to be that the Ritz contacts the distillery. I take the call. The Ritz says, "Hey, we need 100 cases." Or they say we need whiskey. I'm like, "How much do you need? How much goes in a pallet?" Well, we have 48 cases to a pallet. They say, "Can you make that 50 and make it a even 100?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can do that. Absolutely. When do you need it?" "Oh, we need it in 2 weeks." "How about I ship it in 5 days?" "Yeah, great. That'd be fantastic." "Okay, you can have it in 5 days." And I look around at my inventory. I'm going, "Oh shit! I've only got like 30 cases." But I've got stuff in barrels. I've got stuff in to bottle. All I need is the bottles to get it done. No problem. So click. Day two. Clah. I need my bottles. We got your bottles. Okay, get the truck, get everything going, go to get the bottles. And that's when I tell the story about getting stopped by Border Patrol. It's a great story. You'll have to hear it some other time. So then I come back with the bottles, and then day three is the actual shipment. Everything that's a bottling montage. We get everything done in the truck, out the door, off to the Ritz. I get a call from the Ritz. "Hey, where's our whiskey?" Should have been there by now because it's 5 days later. Should have been there by now. You don't have it? No, we don't have it. Like, this is the address for the Ritz, right? They're like, "No, we're the Ritz in California." Like, oh, fuck. Because who would say the Ritz and not specify it's in California? Because the Ritz Carlton is in fucking New York. Everybody knows this. Oh, so I have my little temper tantrum after I tell him, "Oh, sure, I'll get it to you. No problem. We'll blah, blah, blah." So now the next 14 episodes of this movie is getting the whiskey, getting me from Houston to New York, getting a truck, and getting the whiskey from New York to LA. And I know you know about this, Bacon, because you gave me the idea of my blocker being Armenian, because an Armenian going back to LA just makes sense because they all live in Glendale anyway. That was your words. I know you know this. So, of course, our Armenian gets me from Houston to New York. And then he's like, I can block for you because he has the Italian accent because I don't know what an Armenian accent is. I can block for you. Hey, I'm Sven the Armenian. Let's go. Hey. And he does this thing with his fingers and we don't understand why. Um, and drive the Pontiac Fiero because I can't afford a Ferrari, a Pontiac Trans Am, a Firebird Trans Am with that. So he's blocking for us from the trip from New York to Chicago, but outside of New York, we run into the Runaway Bride, just like in Smokey and the Bandit. And in Chicago, we run into a bunch of fascists, just like in Blues Brothers. And then we drive down to Amarillo on Route 66 because we have to get off the highways or the interstates. We go from Chicago to Amarillo. We eat at Big Tex. The fascists catch up to us, or the Nazis catch up to us, so we have to get out of there before we can pay. But it's no problem because I finished the meal. We're all good. Get in the truck, go down the road. We run out of gas because they drain the fuel tanks, and the bus full of drag queens comes to us with gas, and they save the day. And then we move on into Los Angeles. And in Los Angeles, the rough draft of the ending right now, it's probably going to change. It may or may not. I'm not going to guarantee that. They're having the National Sheriff's Convention and the National Anti-Fascist Convention. And we have, of course, in tow, all of the sheriffs chasing after the runaway bride to get her back to the wedding, and all of the fascists whose rally we, or not the fascists, the Nazis, whose rally we interrupted in Chicago, just like in Blues Brothers. And we get to the hotel, unload the whiskey. Everybody's there. All the cops, all the sheriffs, all the fascists, all the anti-fascists, or all the Nazis, all the anti-Nazis. And then the cops are like, if y'all quit being dicks, we can chill out because we don't have to bust your skulls if y'all aren't going to bust each other's skulls. And the anti-Nazis are all like, yeah, if y'all quit being Nazis, then we don't have to be anti-Nazis. We don't have anything to be anti about. And the Nazis are like, yeah, America's pretty cool. We can quit being Nazis and just chill out. And the cops are like, cool, we don't have to bust any skulls. And then I was like, hey, everybody have some whiskey. Everybody's good. We all good about whiskey. Yeah. And then it's the whole thing's old Humble bringing everybody together because the world is awesome and everybody's awesome. I don't know how it's going to end yet, is what I'm saying. I haven't figured that out yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there. I'm workshopping it. I'm 3 episodes in. Get off my ass. I make whiskey. Anyway, I'm tired. I'm suddenly super duper tired, and it is 12. Is it 1? It's 1, and I don't think we're getting 12:17. Yeah, it's 1 o'clock. It's time to go. All right, everybody. I'm closing chat, and I'm saying good night. We're done. I've had my. I'm exhausted. I've been up since yesterday. Literally been up since yesterday. So order online, oldhumbledistilling.com /shop online. You can find our whiskey online. Our road show. There's all the states where we're available, including Massachusetts. Massachusetts, Florida, North and South Carolina. What is that? Mississippi? No, that's Alabama, Louisiana, Texas, Arkansas, Kentucky, Indiana. Was that Wisconsin? Yeah, it's Wisconsin. What's that one above Wisconsin or next to Wisconsin? Is that Illinois? Yeah, Illinois, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin. Anyway, you're in the blue states. You can order our whiskey. It's awesome. Use shipping code make it 2. Make it in the numeral 2. If you buy 2 bottles, use code make it 2. It's free shipping. So be awesome to each other. Drink good whiskey. Cheers, and man, I do appreciate the support. 100%. Super duper. Thank you all for being here. What else? What else is there to say? Like and share for more info. For more great videos. Looking forward to hanging out with y'all in the very near future. Cheers, and where's the next screen? Good night. Clink.